Well, hello, Jerry Can Cosplay appears to be the first one here.
So they can hear us, so we have to stop telling the secrets.
Yeah, we gotta quit making fart noises. But, you know, it's all good. See. Hello, welcome to Odin's Juvenile Livestream. Today we're gonna... Anyway.
Believe it or not, I started it.
This is true. Hello, Jerry Can Cosplay. Hello, everyone else who has joined in or will be joining in. Hi, and welcome.
Welcome.
This is the Patreon portion of the Patreon member and Discord member portion of Odin Makes live stream on Sundays. Hello, my name is Odin.
Hi, I'm Felicia.
And eventually I'll get that out because, you know, she's probably waiting for her cue.
It's okay. Welcome future people, too, who just start here.
Yes. And and bless you future people who are watching this as a replay and aren't watching it live. You guys get to see all of it. But for those of you who wanted to help support me and join on Discord or join on Patreon, this is me addressing the future people, of course. The first 45 minutes or so of every live stream is reserved just for you guys in order to minimize online chatter and make it a more of a one-on-one, us just talking for a little bit. But, you know, it all becomes public later on because...
So watch what you say.
Yeah, so watch what you say. Speaking of which, big thank you to both Shock Gremlin and Dan Does Junk, the mods who are constantly in the background helping keep everything civil. Which, honestly, isn't that hard. Most of you guys are really very civil and very kind.
It's a great little community here.
It's a fantastic
You guys are amazing.
You guys are amazing. Huge shout out, thank you to Ace and Strict and Stupid Monkey and... Oh, so many people I'm going to forget. We had a marathon chat yesterday, voice chat yesterday. And
he did. And
yeah,
Shop
I
Gremlin.
did. And Shop Gremlin. And it was fantastic. And you guys, I want to thank you all very much for your support to us. This was a group support. This was the Odin Makes therapy session happened yesterday. And that was just... It was fantastic.
It's cheaper than therapy.
Yeah. Shopper and I really needed it. So thank you guys all very, very much.
Welcome, Jerry Can Cosplay. He says, hello, everyone. Adam Turbiano, I can butcher anyone's name. Says hi.
Turrentino.
Dan Does Junk. Hello, Dan Does Junk.
Sweet. Hello, Dan.
Will Connors with a hello. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Marvel
Hello,
Guy saying, hello, Odin and Felicia.
Hello, Marvel Guy.
Dan Does Junk. Audio gas check good.
Oh, good. Yes.
There is gas.
I didn't check on that. I just started going.
I like to check the sound bars over here.
Yeah, I look for the sound bars. That really helps. Yeah.
To make sure that they're
they're
going up.
They're going up. They're doing their thing. It really helps. Yeah, I've got a...
Good morning, Shop Gremlin. I saw you earlier, but hello on stream.
Hello, Shop Gremlin on stream.
Ace says, greetings and salutations, everyone.
Hello again, Ace.
Salutations sounds so formal. I feel like that's what my teacher would have us write on when we were learning to write letters.
Yes.
I was like, what's the...
What does this mean?
Salutations?
Is this when we're excited about eating a salad? Is that what... No,
Salutations.
Salutations,
Is this like a Disney?
Yeah, pretty much.
I love it. Keep using.
No, we're not making fun of you.
We can be cultured. We just have
like
California
yogurt.
public education. Jerry Can's Cosplay. Good morning. It's 7:20 p.m. in Ireland. Well, top of the morning to you.
Yeah, top of the morning to you, Jerry. I did say good morning, didn't I? Well, it is a.m. here, but always remember that
we are
California,
the last ones to
we're on the ass end of the time zones for the day. So
we're in front of Hawaii.
We are in front of Hawaii.
So
a couple of
that.
little places, but yeah.
Marvel Guy, how are both of your days going? We're here, we have progress, and things are happening.
Yes.
Odin's already spray painted greebles, and right before the stream started, he took the screws that he bought from the hardware store that weren't the correct color and sprayed them the correct color, and they're drying right now. So we have already got going on our project.
Yes.
Hooray for progress.
Progress.
This thing might actually be finished one day.
It might. Yeah, I actually spent a couple of evenings this week poring over the Ghostbusters fans' pictures of the Venkman Proton Pack. Specifically, it's like I'm just going to focus on that one.
Because it's one that has reference images that we can copy.
Yes, it's one that has really good reference images. And everyone kind of keeps assuming we're doing that one anyway. The stickers may not be on the right spot because that's not important.
In my head, we're doing Phoebe's, which she inherited.
She inherited. Okay, that's good.
So,
even though Phoebe's now... Did Phoebe still have the different cyclotron that had a A little bit. No, they still pretty much look like this, didn't they?
She got her grandfather's stuff.
Yeah, she got her grandfather's
inherited.
stuff, right.
But he had upgraded it to a certain point, so it's not exactly the same. There's like a cut that we learned about from Ben Eady that is now canon. So whether
canon.
That's in there or not, we'll see.
I thought that was specifically the gunner seat or whatever. Anyway.
But no, one of the packs that they pulled it for the gunner seat, but then they reattached it to the pack itself, so there is now tape. I pay attention when we interview people.
Yes, you do. I've jumped on Amazon and bought a few things over the week. Maybe not the smartest thing to do, but progress. Need to make stuff happen, right? So I bought some non-split loom 3/4 inch wire wrapped stuff, because that's specifically what it says it is. That's the cable that goes to the wand, as far as I know, and it's the cable that goes out of this port into somewhere. And I also bought some 1/4 inch non-split, but actually it's supposed to be split. Canonly it's so whatever. I guess maybe we'll just split it. We'll just split it if we have to, or
we
whatever.
have knives and scissors and blades and splitters.
So I paid a tiny bit extra for non-split. I may end up cutting it anyway, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, it'll look great.
I
with
love
or
when
without.
we get stuck on details that don't matter.
Yep.
It happens all the time.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, is this a matter? Is this a big deal or a little deal sometimes? But
Very
it
good
happens
question.
no matter what. Like, you try your best and it's like, oh, the best wasn't right.
Yep.
But sometimes that's how you end up with things even better.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Some of my biggest mistakes have led to things being better than I would have done had I not made stupid mistakes.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Sometimes, the decorations needed in order to get yourself out of a hole of a mistake when building, when not having the ability to restart, from personal experience, and I say what you were doing, absolutely makes a difference, and sometimes leads to a much better product.
Right?
Yeah.
I completely lost.
Your thought?
No, yeah, that too. Actually, I was like, I don't want to admit to that big of a mistake, but I lost a prop and had to make one up last minute.
Yeah, all the time.
And it ended up being better that I had lost that prop than had I just used what I had. Then it wouldn't have turned out as good.
Yes, I think I remember which one that one was. Yes, I remember being very impressed with it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But...
Yeah, and other issues I've ran.
Is it supposed to be being like that?
I don't know. It popped up as probably. Yeah, it's warning me that I got to pay for Dropbox. Not gonna happen.
Right.
But yeah, and other fun things have happened where you've got a whole production. You've got your bits and pieces of stuff that you need for the shoot, and you go to the location to do the shoot, and everything goes great. And then you come back, and somewhere in the process of coming back, the thing got misplaced, and now you need to make another one really quick.
That's why I don't have your address on my cell phone.
Yeah.
I had all the stuff loaded into my car. I moved it all to the back, and my cell phone didn't make it in that move, or I don't know, it fell out of my car.
Something, or you left it on your roof, or whatever.
Whatever. It ended up being found by
you.
Somebody else and turned into airplane mode or off.
Right.
Because it was fully charged.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And it pinged its last location where I did them. Anyways, but yes.
Yeah.
Like, you can try your darndest, that's me using nice language, to do everything right, and still things will go kaput.
Yeah.
Kaput.
Yep.
And then, sometimes things end up being better because it forces you into creative mode, and then you go, damn.
Oh, I gotta pull this out of my. Oh, hey.
Yeah. So this is what we did every single week.
Every single week.
Every other week.
Oh, so
and
often.
every week.
Yes.
And it's been a while. But, we always try our best. But it doesn't mean...
Absolutely.
It happens the way we want it to.
Right?
But we're so stubborn, we'll do it anyways.
Just push harder, it'll be fine.
Just smoosh it.
Yeah, just smoosh it. It's okay, don't worry about it.
We got gaff tape, we can fix it.
Right.
We're in gaff tape and prayers now.
Oh, hey, look at that. I got a text from Felicia saying, do you mind texting me your address so I have it in my phone? All right. My address is
1234.
Right.
Diagon Alley.
Now, if this was an 80s sci-fi movie, they would be able to watch my fingers on that side of the phone, zoom in on it, enhance, and then using a specialized computerized algorithm.
They would just have to see the reflection in your eyes.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, the reflection in my eyes.
They just need to see the light bounce from your eyes to the phone, and then you can see the codes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've watched enough of those, and I've done enough sleuthing. No, actually, when I was taking photography classes in college, they were like, if you want to know the lighting setup, look at the eyeballs.
Yep.
Because you can tell the high-low, what their lighting situation is by the eyeballs.
So Adobe Premiere had an update this last week, and a really cool tool they have now is AI generative clips. So if you need to hold on a little clip of someone, being mellow as you transition out because they're talking too quick, you can cut on the last frame you want, stretch it out for up to 2 seconds, and then AI will just kind of follow through on what the last motion path was. And it's really good to have that under the transition you want to do. So
I understand exactly where this is applicable and why, and oh my gosh, we live in the future, and I don't know what that's going to mean going forward.
And so it's really cool, and I have actually used it at work a little bit, because you get a couple of guys on interviews, they get excited, they get nervous, and the rapid firing questions, the rapid firing answers back to your questions, and I need that just a little bit more. Or my favorite one is you get someone who's really nervous to be on camera, they're talking about something, they answer something, and they look to make sure it's okay. It's like, can you just look at the camera for a second longer? Not even a whole second. So that's where it's really applicable, right, for me.
Pro tip, take a deep breath before you answer any questions on camera.
Yes, and
hold a breath after you've answered it.
Quick little exhale, hold a breath, or whatever once we answer it. It's like, yeah, I had breakfast. Just hold it for a second. But anyway, to do the tutorial on how to do this, Adobe set up this little timeline you could download, and it has like an astronaut, spaceman, science fiction guy on another snow planet, and he's looking around for something, and tension's building, and you got rapid fire cuts between different characters, right? There's no dialogue, because it's just about how to hold a shot that the guy at the flashlight didn't have long enough. In the reflection of the visor of the spacesuit, in the reflection of the eyes of the actors, you can see the big square lights that were lighting them up, as well as the spare spacesuit hanging on a rack because it's white in the black room. It's like, is someone standing there? And you look at it, no, that person doesn't have a head, it's just the suit. And it's on both the male and the female character in the stock footage. It's fully reflected in the visor and everything else. Like, wow.
Part of my job was catching some of that.
Yeah.
I have to watch monitors or cameras and be like, do we really want to see that knuckle in the shot?
Right. Yeah, I'm supposed to look for stuff like that too, and it's really fun working at KVAE. I think I talked about it. We had a really awesome interview with somebody on some playground equipment. Right, it had to do with the park or whatever, didn't matter. But so they're sitting up on like a slide or something else, and all of a sudden, once we're back in edit, we're looking at it, and big red letters right at the side of the slide, right next to the person, F-U-C-K. It's like, oh, well, I guess we gotta blur that.
Oh yeah, I did a bridal shoot where they had gone like the day before to scout locations, and they had these cliffs that they wanted to do.
Right.
But somebody had tagged them up overnight.
Oh shit.
And
really?
Like the whole background were these like
beautiful cliffs.
And I used a trick I learned from Smosh where we spray glued sand.
Oh, that's right.
Over the top of the graffiti. And we have like a shot where the model's head is directly in front of the words, but you cannot tell because we have the
spray glued sand.
And like you can't tell, and we have a close up of her face, and I'm like
that's fantastic.
Save the day, and it only cost us like $3.50 and glue.
Right, and glue. Man,
I think it cost about $12 because we got a few cans, but it was, you know what I mean? Like, I thought it was expensive per can of glue, but we were getting it from Target and smaller,
small little craft cans, not the big old 3M ones.
Yeah, it was literally, we got the phone call from the photographer that we were going down to meet. There is like graffiti everywhere. What are we going to do? And I was like, well, let's just go stop off at a store because we're going from Sacramento to San Francisco.
Right.
And I'm like, there's a Target or somewhere that we could stop off.
Fairfield to the rescue. Sorry.
Yeah. So we stopped off at Target and used their spray glue, which I was like, this is overpriced for a little can.
Right, but
but it did the job, so.
Yeah.
But yes, like it happens, and like
I need to remember that. Not that I read into it yet, and not that I could necessarily. The last thing we went and did, we couldn't spray glue, but I ended up having to like erase stuff. We were in front of a facility in Los Angeles that was not the highest end of facilities. And so finally getting a chance for the person to stop and talk about what they wanted to talk about. And on this side, they had a barred window, which is like, well, whatever. It's all white on white on white. It's like, this is where we're at. This is the only place you guys want me to shoot. And then on this side, somebody set up a banner to hide the dumpster in the homeless tent, which was great because that looked great when we were there. But in camera, all you saw was this part of the woman on the banner, which nobody really was like, that's a little... So I ended up having to motion track the person talking because they're, shifting their feet the whole time in order to do an over-the-shoulder graphic but have it behind their shoulder. Yeah. And then they decided they didn't like the bars in the window, so we had to reshoot the whole thing. Yeah. It was only a minute long, so it wasn't that long, but still.
But still, when you're done, you're done. And you're like, dagnabbit, not just, like, nobody likes starting again.
Right, no. But we redid it, it's fine.
And it goes faster the second time, and it ends up better, and blah, 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 blah. And you gotta suck up your pride and just do it.
Yeah, it was fun. The second one worked out great, and I still did the over-the-shoulder thing anyway, but we ended up doing it downtown in front of the Capitol on a sunny day, like a block away.
Lovely.
So they had the dome of the Capitol over one side, and they're doing renovations, so there's like work fences everywhere, but they're talking about workers' rights. It's like, oh, this is great.
Context, the mise-en-scène.
Yes.
Mise-en-scène. Yeah, that's like a lot of our job as art director, production designer, stylist, is steaming out wrinkles, noticing every little fuzz and jackhammer and
smoke alarm and
noticing those
weed
little
blower.
things so they're not a distraction to others.
Right.
Although if you notice them, I kind of feel excited, like, oh, you give a shit about my job. Like, if I do my job well, you don't know it's done.
Yes, exactly. Very much so.
Yes. Okay, people are saying things.
Oh, good. What are people saying? I'm going to look for the hole drills.
The hole drills are drilled holes.
Yes, the hole drills are drilled holes. They're tools are drilling holes. It's the... I'm wearing their shirt.
Cosplay.
Cause tools.
Sorry, cosplay. Cause tools.
Cause tools. Hole drills for drilling out holes in foam because I need to make some pilot holes to put a lot of little screws in. But what do they say?
We got Dan Does Junk saying he's currently printing the Mando heavy helmet instead of making it out of foam. I found a free file, so somebody has a new 3D printer that they want to use. That's awesome.
I think he actually resurrected it. He was... I don't remember which it is. I don't think it's Ender. I think it's a Creatality 10. But he managed to basically resurrect it and get it working again. Cool. And having a lot of fun with it, which it's just very cool. That's
should 3D
that's
print
not
a 3D printer. I'm just saying.
They do that. Prusa does exactly that.
Just saying, we live in the future. This is how the robots take over, by the way.
That was part of Revenge of the Sith from 20 years ago.
Right.
Wasn't it? No, that was Attack of the Clones earlier than that. Like robots making robots, droids making droids.
Schultz Division saying hello, and it's an hour plus for me, Jerry. So he must be at 8:20. Or
yes, Schultz. So yeah, Jerry is in Ireland, and Schultz is across the. Is that the Baltic Sea? No.
Yeah.
No. Baltic is up by Alaska. Sorry, guys, but it's the North Sea, right? Which it's across the freaking sea on the mainland of Europe. So yeah, he's an hour ahead.
Okay, and Steve D says, "Good evening, all. I wasn't expecting a live stream this week."
We decided to move it a week forward because next week I'm going to be at SAC Anime in Roseville. At the last minute, I found out, oh no, you're invited. Oh, okay, well, let me get my shit together. So next weekend, when we normally would have streamed, we're not going to because I'm going to be at a 3-day con in Roseville, California. But the week after that, so this is our new 2-week schedule now until something changes. Because I'm just not going to commit to, nope, we are here and this is what it's going to be. No, it's going to be about every other week.
We're flexible.
Yeah, we need to be or else it's not going to happen.
Right. Schultz Division is, once we were shooting a music video in Germany and the theme was sunny California, got cars, people dressed and everything, and the day of the shooting outside, snow, frickin' snow.
Yeah.
Every dang time. We have to do Christmas when it's the hottest time of the year, and then we got to do swimwear when it's the coldest time of the year. It just always happens like that. Like, people, like, get mad at me, like, why are you putting me in a bikini? Well, that's what the shot calls for, you know? Like,
because when this goes out in 6 months, this is what we want to sell.
But I always bring robes for a reason.
Yes. I don't know how many times when I was younger, it's like, it's hot, I need shorts. I'd go to the store, it's like, it's winter season now. No, it's not. It's 110 outside. I want shorts. Well, you should have bought them when they were cold. I don't think ahead.
They're on clearance now. You got to go to that section.
Yeah.
But yeah, I found the absolute dead zone for Christmas was when we were filming. We were doing a shoot for Christmas.
Right.
Because like there's like everything starts really freaking early.
Anymore it
like
does.
you can get it before you can get Halloween stuff timed.
Yes.
And then it kind of drags out because you have all the clearance afterwards.
Right.
And so it's like majority of the year you can get Christmas stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When we filmed our Christmas ads,
it was July or
nothing.
June, yep.
Nothing in a single store. Like
I saw that Joanne still had a lot of Christmas stuff.
Oh yeah,
they're just on a blow at their warehouse.
Yeah, but you also have Christmas in July and stuff like that. So
yeah.
There is like so many times of the year that you can find Christmas stuff most of the year.
Okay.
But like it just was so interesting finding out when exactly the dead zone is, and it's like you just gotta appreciate it for a second.
Yeah, I suppose you do.
Yeah,
Maybe.
and then we did ad campaign, so it was like a whole year's worth of
ad
content.
Okay,
You know,
that
like
makes
stuff
sense.
they post on the Instagram accounts and things like that. So it was for a brand that I just don't want to out at the moment. They're a really cool brand, and I liked working with them. I did them multiple years in a row. It was an alcohol company.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Did Pat work with them too?
Not on this one.
Not on that one, okay. Because I know Pat talked many times about how awesome it is to work with a particular.
Same time, so we had to do winter stuff and summer stuff at the same time. So we had a swimsuit shoot, but we also had to have a snowboarder, and they were all in the same day.
So they didn't put swimsuits on snowboards?
No.
Not that kind of shoot?
No, not that. First.
That's
yeah.
Freaking motto now.
But 'tis the life.
Right, yeah.
You're fine. I'm out of it.
That's okay. We're talking. It's all good.
Yep.
One of the things I enjoyed looking at all the greebles, all the pictures on the Vickman Pat specifically, is how much extra epoxy glue goop was on everything. Like everything was. And this is on.
I feel like that was like Anthony's beard. Like there's just
it's just covered in in epoxy glue all over Anthony's face. It was just
it just needs to stick.
Yeah. And it's
Let's just add more.
A deep, rich, dull amber color, so it really has that look of old epoxy. Yeah.
It's an aesthetic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Totally not what they were going for at the time. It's just been long enough to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Dan does junk says not really resurrect, but get it to frickin' behave. LOL. I'm finally confident to have it print while I'm away. That's awesome.
Oh yes, that's right. He talked about that. Yes, that is very awesome.
Because I feel like that's dangerous. That's how I light things on fire, but that's lasers. I haven't done a printer. That's different problems.
Lasers are very good at lighting things on fire. Wow,
yeah, so you never should use a laser when you're not there.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm pretty bad at that, but yeah, you shouldn't leave a laser
Steve D
unattended.
says, does anyone else keep losing sound? Mic check.
Well, just a minute ago, I walked away from the mic, so if I'm losing sound because I was talking, it's because I was on the wrong side of the microphone.
Yeah, so just let us know. Sounds like Odin and Felicia have way too much caffeine. Well, I've only had half my coffee so far.
I've had a soda.
Okay. We're awake this morning.
Yeah.
Like we knew we were coming, as opposed to last week. I dragged out of bed and I got here late.
It's okay. Oh,
so
geez, I did that for a year. It's
I'm
okay.
awake now.
Yeah.
I think that's the difference.
No, I'm feeling much better today than I have in a little while.
You were prepping for this when I got here.
Yeah.
You like?
I had gone to the store twice.
Yeah. Normally when I get here, you haven't like even pulled things out of the box. It's not to.
No,
but we do that live. We work everything live, so it's not unheard of or weird. But
right.
But yes, we're awake this morning and moving and being creative.
Yep.
And I have half a cup of coffee in me, so.
There you go. And
Yay, caffeine.
I know I say this off camera, but I'll say this in front of everyone else. At any time you decide you need more coffee, just say, "Excuse me, I need more coffee," and go walk off and get yourself some coffee. No big deal.
Yeah, I like a little bit of coffee with my cream and sugar.
That's fine. We've got those. If the one pump of creamer runs out, we just bought another one because we know it's getting low. It's getting low.
Shop Gremlin says I was having trouble with loading. Okay. Need to check the internet bill because of it. LOL.
Right?
It's
pretty sure I paid it.
Once you get going, Dan, until it mucks up again.
Yeah. Right.
Oh my gosh, having like the right tool for the job makes it significantly easier. But getting that tool to be the right tool sometimes.
Right. Getting the tool to behave.
5-minute sewing project being a 30-minute troubleshooting machine has been one of my worst nightmares. That's why I freaking love the machine that I have now, currently.
Okay.
Because just like troubleshooting machines sometimes takes forever. I don't care what machine it is. You just get it going. But once it's up and running, the robots take over and it works. But
all right.
Goals. More robots doing the hard parts that aren't as fun. Oh, I'm getting text messages.
Oh, nice.
Oh, you texted me your address.
Yeah. It's a text mode. It says here. It says P.O. Box 3152, Orangevale, California 95662.
Oh, I got invited to an Easter event. I'm probably not going to go.
Nice.
I have a lot of things on that weekend. It's Earth Day that weekend.
Yeah, it's Earth Day. It's Easter. It's Sack Anime. It's like, all right, whatever.
It's my best friend's birthday.
There you go. Yeah, it's some really good friend's birthday. Happy birthday, Mariah. Oh. Sorry, not going to be there because now I'm at Sack Anime.
Just a lot of things in that weekend and the next weekend. So it's a good thing that we're live this weekend because we're not going to. Next week it's just
not going to happen. And then 2 weeks we'll be live again. And we may or may not be finishing up your side quest in 2 weeks. I don't know if you'll get through all that today.
Oh, yeah, I haven't even pulled it out yet.
That's fine.
I have a side quest that I need to get off my plate because I'm now full-time at a new place. Yay!
Awesome. Oh, I love what it sounds like it is too. You told us last week. That's really
last
cool.
week I am making pressure garments for children who have been severely burned. And I have been in training. It's my second week of doing it. I had my first day on my own. Nice. And I am getting more confident and comfortable with materials.
Important.
And I really love that feeling of when everything lines up perfectly. You just feel like you're doing everything right.
Yep.
And you, like, I can eyeball that precision, and it just, I'm starting to feel it. You know, I'm getting in the zone.
Right.
You know, like, those perfectionist tendencies that I try and just, you know, like, I'm allowed to utilize a little bit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no emergencies in this situation.
That's amazing.
Which is really nice because you'd think that in a medical setting, like, come on, we need it. No. It's like there's never an emergency. There's other things we can do until the things are done. So it's really... So I got to get these side quests off my back.
So I'm side quests. I'm being pleasantly corrected. Apparently Mariah's birthday is today. Happy birthday, Mariah.
Feliz cumpleaños.
Yes. But the celebration is next week, so we're missing the celebration.
Okay,
but the actual birthday is today, so happy birthday.
And it was Steve D's birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday, Steve B. D. B. D.
Happy birthday, Steve D.
Happy B-Day, Steve D.
Yes.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Steve D.
And Schultz Division, we have a sci-fi con this weekend, but couldn't go. Had other plans, unfortunately. I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you. But it's always fun to have a reason to wear your costume. Like, that is why I go to things, is because, wait, I get to dress up and I have this fabulous outfit.
Yep. You can even bring multiple outfits and change halfway through the day.
Right?
There are people that do that, go through like 2 or 3 costume changes during the day.
When I worked at the costume shop, I often got invited to random people's costume parties that I would dress up. They're like, you should come, it'll be so much fun.
Uh-huh.
Every once in a while I would go.
That's
just
cool.
Because I'm like, I can dress up theme. And
I could go.
Like, there's this one person's birthday party I ended up crashing, but they had a taco truck, and I do not regret it. It was so much fun. I ended up like this giant poofy, the masquerade. Like, I had a whole masquerade outfit, like a floofy dress with the giant peignets.
Uh-huh.
You know, like, have to go sideways, get through the door with a big mask that was this tall.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Didn't know anyone there, but I had a great costume, and it was a masquerade.
Okay.
And they had a
cool.
taco truck, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
So, like, crashing parties just to wear a costume.
Very cool.
So, yeah, good excuses.
Yeah.
I just bought a sparkly pink sequin dress that I have nowhere to wear it to, and my goal is to wear it as much as possibly as I can.
Okay.
Almost wore it out roller skating yesterday, but I decided not to go roller skating because I, was responsible. I got stuff done.
Oh.
But.
Dirty language.
Right. For the costumes.
For the costumes.
To play dress up. For fun. We got a bunch of happy birthdays for Steve D.
Sweet. Good. I'm glad Steve is here.
Yep.
Yep, exactly. See, exactly where I just went. It's like, and...
what are we working on?
And suddenly I've got, 1K tone. Boop. Or television static.
Right.
That's all that's in my head.
We got off on a train of distraction.
That's fine. That's kind of what this is about.
We were also getting things accomplished. I noticed you were sanding these. These are ready for ribbon cables.
Yep, I've got both of them drilled out. No, I did not get the... sorry, I haven't really showed a picture of it, but the corner over here has got both bandsaws and the drill press buried, facing the wrong way. So it's not like a 15-minute fix. And my plan was to get it done on 2 different evenings this past week, and both evenings something else came up. And then yesterday, spent the day doing something else. Eventually. Exactly. More important and more wholesome for me than... So
that's okay.
Today I just...
You got other things. We got greebles and we got little...
Yep.
These are old-fashioned, antiquated screws.
More or less. These are socket screws. There were particular screws that I remember asking for at Ace Hardware's where I went, right? And so I'm asking specifically, hey, I'm looking for one of these. I describe it to him, and he grabs a combo bolt, one of the ones you can use either a Phillips or a flathead screwdriver on. And it's like, no, I know what a combo bolt is. That's not quite it. What I'm looking for is, these guys.
Camera 3.
Yeah, which is the, that's the bolt that goes in the side of the cyclotron bumper. There's actually like 8 of these on each pack.
So are there specifically square ones, or are they like drilled out?
I've seen these before. I just don't know where. It may be an automotive bolt, and what's fun is somebody's going to let me know exactly what they are. But the supplier that makes the screws at Ace Hardware doesn't carry them, and so they're a specialty screw or an antiquity screw at this point because they are 40 years old, right? So I was like, all right, fine, whatever. So I ended up just buying.
Upgraded technology a lot since then.
But it's just streamlined stuff. Like a retail store like Ace Hardware is only going to sell what sells. They're not going to carry something that doesn't move.
Well, those types of screws, like with that square head, remember that one time that guy put together the set for me, and he used the cross blades, the flat blades, and the squares?
Yes, he used Torx, he used Phillips, he used square drive, and that was just it. It's like, well, I got square drive screws. It's like, well, it's not really a square drive screw. It's this. And yeah, it's a button head, whatever the heck this is. It's like a Phillips number 3 screw or something. And
big deal, little deal. We got close enough.
Exactly. And so he asked a very realistic question. It's like, does it have to be that screw? It's like, I'm doing it on video. People are going to call me out for it. And, it's a Ghostbusters pack. And he's like, all right. And then they also didn't carry a straight button head slotted screw. Because one of those goes in the middle of the cyclotron spring, right? Just a silver button top single slot. It's like, and again, I could see why. They're not going to sell often enough, at least at this location, so they only have the combo screws or straight Phillips. And, personally, I wouldn't go out of my way to buy those because I find them annoying. I'd rather have a Phillips. It doesn't fall off the head of the screw.
I feel like you find those in a drawer.
Yeah, pretty much you do.
Screws that I didn't throw away because they might go to something.
Right. I probably have them. I probably have them in one of my boxes around me. But, yeah, it's just, all right. So.
Can we just get something and smoosh a line in it? Or draw a line across the concave? What can we do that's close enough?
Right now, leave it silver because it's close enough. But if I bother to look, I might have a pair and I can just drill a hole, glue them in, and great. We got the screw on the bumper. Bumper spring, whatever it's called.
Yes, but it's those little details. We're getting through them.
Yeah. And it's the dumb little details that I enjoy.
Right?
There it is. Where is my box?
I get impatient with, but I know better.
With me or?
No, just in general. With crafting. I do love details, but...
Yep.
Are you looking?
I'll go ahead and look. Now, this box of screws isn't as old as Ghostbusters, but it is almost 30 years old. But they need to be button head. Those are... But that's right.
Yeah.
But that's the slot. It needs to be...
Closer.
See, and like this is closer, but it's still not the same.
It's the cross, yeah.
Yeah, it's the cross with a larger opening.
Should we give them a camera 3?
Yeah, maybe. You know, but it's still not exactly the same.
This one's not quite right.
And I know I don't have 16 of them. Yeah, and that one's not quite right because this is a what is this? It's the flathead with the this has a name and I'm forgetting it. There's even a tool for recessing this. So it screws in flush. But this is the type of head that I wanted to have, and this is the type of, as far as the tool, and they don't sell that one at this close location. But again, not a big deal, but
it doesn't hurt to look.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to look here. Because I probably have some button head screws either in here or, over there. But the importance
those
of
little boxes of wires, you also have some things of screws.
Yeah,
this one's not too bad.
It's a proper square drive. Oh, that one's not too bad, no.
Oh, that one's a button head, no cross.
It has no
this one's little.
driver.
I spy with my little eye.
That's exactly what's happening.
Who's really good at that game? Because I am. I do it with little kids, and they go, "How are you so fast at this?" And I'm like, "It's my job."
I've been doing it your whole life.
Right.
So there's this.
Not bad, right?
Yeah, I got a machine screw and a wood screw, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to drill a hole and glue it in. And
it's
and
more
same
the top than the bottom.
The guy that was trying to help me was genuinely trying to be helpful, but he's like, well, if you tell me what the head type is and what the thread count is, I know I can look it up for you. It's like, I'm doing an art project. I could give an F. I need it to look like this.
Right? That almost looks like the square.
Yeah, it does, exactly, right? So it's like, I've seen these things, but I can appreciate that maybe I've just seen them in my own crash box of crap that I've had since Play. Literally, I bought this when I worked at Play in the 90s. So yeah, this box is 30 years old, or damn close. 28, something like this. This box has been able to drink for a while. But anyway, so good enough. We found two that are going to be 100%
Oh, Bandit just said butt-on head screws. Butt head screws.
So
we're looking for butt head screws.
Yes, we're looking for butt head screws.
Now we're going to be flagged for
buttons.
foul language here.
Nah, we won't get flagged for that at least. I just generally try not to out of, I don't know, I guess habit from broadcast TV.
There are children who might be watching. Who knows?
Yep.
It's the internet.
It's the internet. These are fine. I will just use those. Those will
But they're pretty darn good, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They're fine.
I wonder if we could just screw them directly into the foam.
Probably, but I'm going to go ahead and put a hole in first. That way we're not stressing the foam, because the foam has to go somewhere, right? So it's going to, there's a lot of space, but I would hate for it to push the fender washer off the top, or otherwise distort in a weird way.
Look at
Whereas
you
if
with
we
your
just
logic.
make a hole and put it in the hole, trust me, just make a hole and put it in the hole, and it's all going to be good.
Sounds like experience. I trust it. I made fair share of mistakes that I go, you know what? Doing a little bit of prep will prevent all of this heartache down the thing. Sorry. I totally punched you without even looking where I was going.
I was going to get let me get the dirty paint thing off so we don't get your white fabric dirty.
Oh, it's okay. I might not even pull that out.
You can.
I can.
Totally okay.
It's all in a kitten clutch, but just appreciate the bag. Look at it.
Yes.
It's little cats, but they're breakfast.
We're having cats for breakfast?
No.
Oh, wow. Yeah, look, it's a bagel cat with, cheese.
It's breakfast kitties.
Yeah.
I don't know what the whole point is,
cat
but this tote fit my entirety of my project, including the project and a sewing machine.
Nice.
And
now you're unpacking. Now you're almost committed.
We're doing it. and a dinner plate.
Oh, okay.
The kitchen sink's in here too, if you look hard enough.
So the dinner plate is your template?
What I found.
Oh, wait.
Look at those. Aren't they great? What do you think those are used for?
We order them off Amazon.
Yeah. What is the problem we're trying to solve?
Well, I know what we're trying to solve. I'm trying to think of what this package was designed for.
It's a design for exactly what you think it was designed for.
Okay, so it is literally just
They're gels. They're just a higher quality, thicker material.
And they have a protective screen over them.
Yeah.
That's really kind of cool.
And I can cut them and sew through them.
That's fantastic.
So
Sorry.
My plan, okay. So I have this circle
My plan!
that I need to make light up. And so I have gels to make it the correct colors to light up. Granted, the colors have changed, and this this triangle is wedge pie shape has been eliminated, the black one.
Well, that's good, because it's kind of hard to make things light up black.
Exactly. So that one's been eliminated. So the top of them is only going to be 3 in this, and then the bottom is still going to be the 1, 2, 3, 4. So the bottom's going to be 4, and the top is going to be 3.
Oh, okay. So you're not trying to split it into 7 segments. You're going to do 3 half of 6 and half of 8.
Yes. The reference images that I was given is the top one is the bigger wedges, and the bottom half are the smaller wedges.
Okay.
So they're not going to be even size 7 wedges. It's going to be an uneven. Top ones are going to be a little bit bigger. Bottom ones are going to be a little smaller.
Big feels, little feels.
So I figured I didn't pull up the reference image, but I figured I could cut out a big one and a small one out of each color. So you can. My goal is to make it flexible because I don't have everything I need quite yet. I don't have all of the electronics that I want, so I'm just going to be using.
So I'm going to guess that if you're using these gels and sewing them in, this isn't exactly a toss it in the washing machines type of outfit.
No, I was going to make it,
Oh, it's going to be removable?
Yeah.
Oh! Look at her thinking ahead.
Okay, so here's my, thought process. I will show you the layers. Okay, this is the circle that I need to make light up, right?
Right.
And it needs to be on this character.
Right.
And it is
This is not an existing character. This is a in-progress production that does not exist yet.
I eyeballed it and I said, that looks about the size of a dinner plate. And it is exactly the size of a dinner plate.
That's amazing.
And I have...
Cut.
Right?
Right.
So, I have a backing fabric.
Okay.
That I figured could be the base layer.
Looks like a piece of Jedi robe.
It is. It's just the thing. I have...
Oh, you've got some... Oh, nice.
Shiny craft foam to be a reflective layer.
Behind it? Okay. I like that.
I have a clear plastic.
You got grandma's vinyl.
That I can put on top of that layer.
On top of that layer. Okay, so the vinyl's going to go on top of the... Okay, that gives space between the light and the...
I have bias binding to finish off all my edges.
Okay.
And so I figured if I sew these 3 layers to... Yeah, that's the bottom, the foam, and the plastic. I sew them into little wedge pockets, but don't finish off the edges of... I put the black around the top edge, but not the other edges, so I can make a pocket to slide in the electronics. So each individual pie wedge has its own individual light that can slide in and out for laundering purposes, and then this piece itself can be attached and detached for, again, laundering purposes. But with all of this layering going on, where's my plastic? Where are those gels?
We buried them, I think.
Are they on this? Yep, here.
And they're on top of a piece of foam I thought was diffusion.
It is.
Okay.
So inside of this, I figured...
Odin! It's what's for dinner. Sorry.
That, let's pick this blue gel, because I have a couple extra blues, would go in this layer.
Right, between the diffusion and the... Okay.
So wedges, you know.
Now...
Of color.
You're using gels already. I've got some diffusion film from a flat screen TV that may work better than
the foam. Again, just something...
I also have illusion film that might work well. Which...
Oh, I have to take out these little...
I gotta find where it is, but I got plenty. If I have to, I'll get out of the back of my car, because I know I got some there too. But yeah, no, that's fine.
So then these are LEDs in the different colors that would be behind it. In whatever triangle one
is. Yeah.
So
that's not bad. It's, he talked about not... I've been to the meetings with the guy, both in person and virtual, he didn't seem too worried about the hot spots we were trying to explain,
No,
or he didn't understand.
The thing is we have this many lights to shove into about this big of a triangle.
Okay.
Which, by the time we have the diffusion, the color, and the things, it should glow. It's not glowing half bad with it all just concentrated in one lump.
Yeah.
So, diffusion, color, and this sparkle helps with adding more light. So, this is my game plan of how to make a light up thing. Granted, ultimately, I want better lights that can be...
Oops.
It's okay.
Just in time.
Just in time, but how to make it glow. Because if you want to make your cosplays light up, these are a great option because they're individual LED packs that have individual batteries that you can remove.
Yeah. That's just a little coin battery in there, right? These are just little fairy lights that are...
Fairy lights that just, like...
And did you get a whole rainbow with these things?
Yeah, I got the whole rainbow.
Oh, nice.
Every color. Comes with multiple lights.
Nice. Oops. Double cut. Sorry about that.
You're fine. But I got a whole pack of all the different colors of lights. So this is a temporary solution. Ultimately, I'd like to do actual LEDs that I can control from a phone.
That'd be
from
nice.
far away.
Right.
But,
But again, he didn't seem so concerned about that.
Ultimately, the first thing is I was originally told I want them each to individually light up, and I would like to be able to turn it on via button. That is what this is.
Okay.
Yes, it could be better if it was like a push button. That would be easier, but this isn't. This is done.
Yeah,
done is better
important.
than perfect, and it's temporary because you can, like with my pockets that I want to create, you can slide them in and out, and you can upgrade your lighting system as you upgrade your budgets. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Version 1 to get it going, and then version 2 once you're in production. Yeah, okay.
Exactly. So that is kind of what I'm working on as a side quest.
There we go.
I just want it off my plate, but I solved it. You know what I mean?
Right.
How do you make it light up? This is my plan. And
it's a good plan. I remember talking about that.
So.
Oh yeah. Usually zoom in. Well, whatever. I can't from here.
How do you make your cosplays light up? You figure it out?
Well, not too far off. It's only a couple minutes over. Nice.
All right. 12:04. Welcome, everybody.
Yeah.
Welcome to the stream.
Welcome to the stream. If any of you are here because I posted something to Instagram, thank you. It's most appreciated that you actually saw that. But if not, that's all good, and I appreciate everyone who was showing up. Hello, welcome to the public portion of the Odin Makes live stream. My name is Odin.
Hi, I'm Felicia.
And we are working on Ghostbusters Proton Packs, like what I'm going to be doing. And Felicia's got a side quest with her own special costume that lights up.
Yeah, I have a weird side quest. I was requested to help light up a costume. And so I figured if you guys wanted to add lights to your cosplay, you can probably take some of these techniques and apply them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And don't stress trying to figure out what the character is. It's a new character that doesn't really exist in the public mind yet.
Yeah, I was given permission that I can.
That you can stream it?
Like, yeah, I'm allowed to stream this costume, and I can say who it is.
That's good.
It's a show that hasn't been produced yet. That's in the works. They're getting funding grants and things that it's in the woodworks of. This is the first prototype, and eventually their goal is to be on air.
Yeah.
Teaching kids about emotions, and so the circle is like the emotions.
The emotion wheel.
The emotion wheel. So.
Yeah, so it's very much geared for kids. I think the goal is PBS.
Yeah.
And yeah.
They were asking, like, how do we make this light up? And they've, like, apparently gone through lots of people trying to get this to light up. And I was like...
And at least one person previously came to me as well. I've heard about this project at least once before.
So it's been thrown into my lap, and I need to get it done so it is just off my head, out of my brain, and just over with.
Yeah. Get it away. Because, everyone who's working in this... This happens a lot. And there's nothing wrong with this except for when you are outside of that particular group and are like, I just need to be paid. Everyone involved with this is super excited about the project, and they're super excited about moving forward with it and all the things that the project can do, and they're thinking about all the things they can do. So they're trying to collect all these artists to help them do this and realize their dream. But they keep asking for a lot of stuff immediately that might pay off later. It's like, we can't work that way, guys.
Right? Look this is my industrial serger that I got. And I was adjusting the tension I used 3 different colors so that I could tell which one was which, and you could tell as I went through
all
the different adjustments I made for it to, that's the good side, and this is where I started.
Oh yeah, totally. Okay, so you've got red and blue.
So I could tell
or
which
green.
looper.
Yeah, I know my colors.
Red and green, yeah, so that
And
I could
white?
tell the loopers, and yes, white is the stitching.
Okay.
But not bad, right?
No, and you've got it right on the edge, basically. I mean, it's a tiny bit on the green side here, but still, that's on the edge.
Yeah, and then see?
Yeah, no, very cool.
You can tell the progress of how I adjusted the whole machine, and I got it running. And the only reason I'm not currently running it yet is because I still haven't bought machine oil. And you don't run machines without oil. Or you're going to have a bad time.
Well, the machine's going to have a bad time, yeah.
Right?
No, you both will. The machine has a bad time means you're going to have a bad time.
Right. You do not want to lose a machine due to not being oiled.
Right. Okay, so, what am I doing? Greebles! I'm doing greebles.
Screws, screw holes.
Screw holes, super glue.
Super glue. We also wanted to attach it to a frame. What are we working on today?
Frame is going to happen today.
Okay.
Haven't touched that, so I'm only going to do screw holes. Hopefully I can get the ribbon cable put on, and I can get some screws put on, and really that's probably about it. I would like to get some of the other bits and pieces put on. Some of these might be interesting because I'm going to end up cutting off some of the foam ones because I've got 3D printed ones, but that's going to leave a scar, which I don't really care about.
Because you're going to be covering it up.
Not entirely.
It's character.
This footprint's a little...
It's called...
Character. It's texture.
Texture.
Yeah, it's 100% what it is. Now, I wonder if I can pull up the chat on my phone so I can see a version of the chat over here.
You don't have to look over everything. I'm getting into your stuff.
We've been doing that for 10 years. More.
Right? Hey, I've been given permission from the prosthetics department to get into their stuff, and I haven't yet, so.
Oh, okay.
Aha.
Well, that's awesome, though.
Little do they know what they have invited in.
Uh-huh. Wait, I can do what?
Actually, I think cosplay repair stuff.
Yeah.
Which one would have the sewing scissors?
Probably the ones with the drawers that are more at your waist or knees.
All right, that's what I was afraid of.
Well, they're drawers. Yeah, that's why they're down there. They're drawers. Ryobi made some pack-out boxes that have drawers.
Here they are, found them.
So, yeah, much happy about that. And there's also a secondary, I think there's a secondary small pair.
I love how unintentionally they match. We bought these way before Ryobi started watching our stream.
Yeah.
And it looks like that you're just on brand.
I have a pair of those too, whichever you like.
Snippers.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm amazed that I'm having a hard time even finding my own
Your own stream?
my own stream.
You know when you post these streams, you don't post the chat, so you can't read it in post? You used to be able to.
Are they not being showing up?
Yeah, not that I can see them.
I'll have to go and look because I thought I was.
You were at one point, but you're not currently.
Well, something changed. There must be a checkbox I'm not hitting that wasn't there before because it was just all automatically before. And
Yeah, no, not so much anymore.
oh, well, that's a bummer because the chat's important.
Yeah. Hello, Ralph Mork. Mighty Guitar Mod. Screw holes? Are those like donut holes?
Yep, basically. All right, I can't even navigate my own. Well, that's a YouTube Studio, which I'm going to admit I don't like that app because I can't navigate it.
And Bernard Amite, I can butcher anyone's name, says, "Hey there."
Hello,
Hi there.
Bernard.
Hello, Bernard Amite. Let me just butcher everybody's names.
There it is. Wow, look at that. I just go to YouTube and I can see it.
I'm cutting out on the outside of my trace line, so I have some extra to trim off as needed. It gives me about 1/8 of an inch because that's kind of a thick marker line.
Okay.
Well, maybe it's more than a 1/16.
Well, this is great. I can actually just go on as me.
Auto magically sounds like a Disney thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Shadowlands Radio. Hello, Odin. Currently doing laundry.
Oh, that's awesome.
Way to be productive. Now that I'm back to crafting every day as my job, I now listen to a lot of people talk in the background, and I definitely appreciate having long streams of people talking in the background. So I hope you guys are making something fun today, or at least accomplishing something.
All right, so I'm on the app. Where is the chat? This is how often I watch other streams. All right.
I don't tend to watch them live when I'm working because I can't be that involved. I just need it background noise.
Right. Well, I just wanted to, you know, be able to look at the chat because I usually miss it.
Yes, because I hog the chat.
It works out well to do it that way. You're not hogging it. Huh. All right. This is Odin, not able to use YouTube. I'm an old man. All right.
It's okay. We're only live and everybody's watching you.
Oh, whatever.
Watching you watch.
Watching me fumble hard. All right. One of the things I want to look up, which I just had my phone. Now what I'm going to look up instead, and hopefully you'll be able to find this easier, is what index number of drill bit do I need in order to tap out a quarter 20 screw. Not a 1024, a quarter 20. For those of you who are in civilized parts of the world, the quarter 20 represents 1/4 of an inch and 20 threads per inch. I've also got some 832 threads, but the 8 doesn't represent a unit of measurement. It is just a screw size number 8 with 32 threads per inch. Because, you know, everything's consistent over here. So I want to know the size of drill bit for...
I'm honestly jealous of this tool. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that was my favorite. Quarter 20 tap. Hey, look, it's like I searched for it before.
See how wrinkly this is?
I want a 13/64 or index number 7. How wrinkly it is. It is wrinkly.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't want to heat it up with too much heat because then it'll like stretch it out and warp it more.
Right.
But I want it to flatten. So I like this one because it's a low heat. It's lower than a blow dryer that you blow dry your hair with. Don't use it as a blow dryer for your hair.
No, don't. And then we put it on high. It works great for shrink tube and everything else. And the way the cradle's designed for this convenient Ryobi handheld heat gun, you can set it down in its own cradle and use it as a stand for hands-free operation. And another benefit of the low heat gun is that it will not burn your EVA foam project, and it doesn't have a cool down. When you turn it off, it is off.
I know some people are like, I need the hot heat gun. That's battery operated stuff is just not going to cut it, but whatever.
Yeah. If you're trying to strip paint, yeah. You're right. It's not.
Stupid Monkey says you have to click view live chat when you watch the review.
Yeah, I was trying. I didn't see
that button didn't exist for me.
No, I didn't see that on mobile.
Yeah.
Oh, you click live chat. Oh, excuse me.
When I watch it in review, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it's not always there.
Huh.
Because I look for that button.
I try not to hide it. I don't want to. The chat is why we're here. In all honesty, and that's what we're here for, right? Is to be able to chat to you guys and talk to you guys.
You have to keep view live chat 1, the replay now, as opposed to the default.
Okay.
So, yes, you have to click a button you haven't been clicking.
Okay. I'll have to go back and click that. I swear I didn't have to in the past, so, out of habit, I keep doing what I used to do.
Ad Vixen says, I just click the space above the actual comment bubble.
Oh, okay.
Part of me is going, this is looking worse than better, but I'm just trying to get out this really strong crease.
Right?
That's more my goal.
For those of you who don't have a heat gun, something that does work, but don't leave it out there too long, put it in the sun.
Very true. Also, hot rags.
Hot rags. An issue with leaving it out there too long, prolonged exposure will yellow your vinyl, but that will probably take more than a day. But still, keep an eye on it, and once it's smooth to what you want, get it out of the sun.
Yep.
So I can definitely see there being an advantage to having a mirrored monitor off the laptop over here so I can see it too.
Yeah. Jerry King Cosplay says, the sun, yeah, we don't have that in Ireland.
Yeah, right. No, yeah.
Got plenty of that here in California, and we're getting more and more of it as we get into those summer months.
Right.
From the opposite direction. I just want that one spot really just to flatten out more than the rest. You smoosh it and you smoosh it.
Smoosh it. A couple more. All right. What am I looking for?
Bernard, am I right? I totally butchered his name.
Oh, yeah.
Says, maybe a stupid question, but have you guys ever been or planning to go to France? I'd really enjoy meeting you at last after all these years. You know what? If a con is willing to fly us out and pay for hotels, I'm down.
So honestly, no, I've never been to France. I would love to go to France.
Right?
Yeah, no, that
I'm down
like
to travel almost
Yeah.
anywhere, right? Traveling, I'm always down for a good adventure.
I have been in 3 countries total. You know, oddly, I've been to the United States. I think I was there earlier today. I went up to Canada back in the 90s when it was easy enough to just drive in there. Now it's
Right.
don't blame the Canadians, because why is all that stuff on the border? Because Canadians are trying to keep the Americans out. That's why. And I got to go to Crete, which meant I went through Greece, but which Crete is in Greece, but there's the island of Crete, which is separate from. Greece doesn't really have a mainland, but there's the biggest chunk that's actually attached to the rest of the continent that you could drive to. So we've been in Athens, and then we flew over to Crete. That's it. I haven't really been anywhere else. I'd love to go.
Yeah.
I'd love to go. I just don't really.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel you on that. Always down for adventure, though.
Yeah.
This pen sucks. I'm gonna get a different one.
If what you need is a pen that sucks, I think I got you covered.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might try using that with the tab. Hopefully I won't regret it.
Now this is a much bigger edge. I think I'm gonna cut off on the inside of this edge.
Oh, I'm actually going to have to because I can't spin this. The grain tower's in the way. Okay.
So, if you know of cons who want to invite us,
Right?
do it for free. Just pay for hotel and plane tickets. The real cost of the adventures.
Right. I was invited out to a Makers Con in was it Manchester? I can't remember where it was going to happen, but it was in Britain, and this was early on, 2018, I think it was. And of course, my employer at the time was like, "You can't have that time off." It's like, "We'll be gone for 4 days. I get to go over to you can't have that time off." What? So
What's really nice is I'm per diem now, so I can just tell them I'm not available.
Oh, that is really cool.
And I don't have to be available except for at least 2 days a month. So I can take off time whenever I want without having to worry about PTO or any of that.
2 days a month?
Is my minimum, and I can go about a month to 3 months without having to talk to HR about it. So.
You've been gone up to 3 months? Wow.
So, I really am enjoying the perks of this new position.
Yeah, I guess. That's really cool.
Right?
That's really surprising.
So, and because I'm per diem, I'm allowed to pick up outside work. So, if I wanted to go in on projects and still do my other freelance work that I do,
that's not conflict of interest.
Yeah, it's not conflict of interest. So, I can still be me and have steady income and help people who need it. And there's not very many people who can do what I do, which seems really weird. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes, I've even ran into that. It's like, well, we need this. Who do you know? It's like, everybody comes to me.
Right?
Well, you had friends help you before. It's like, yeah, I did. They all got jobs. Because none of you people pay enough.
None of it's steady.
No, that's actually more of the issue. None of it's steady.
Because they pay well, just not steadily.
Well, they pay you well. There's been plenty of times I went and did work that was not paid well.
Oh yeah, no, I'm to the point where I can't unless they pay me well.
Right.
Or I have the luxury of saying no unless it pays well.
And this is why I have a day job.
Dang, naive per diem. It is what it is for now, but you know what?
Yeah. All right. Then I had...
Let's cut out a circle live in front of a bunch of people and see how well I do. It's okay, it'll be invisible. And it's a circle. Not bad, right?
That's a circle. That looks great.
It's circular.
It's circular. They blow up into funny shapes. Not most rounds funny.
Your garbage is different.
Yeah, it is. I haven't brought the garbage.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm not complaining. I just was like, hey, the thing that I'm used to pulling out and throwing isn't there.
Isn't there.
But there is a garbage.
There is a garbage. It's just a little...
different.
Small. What are you looking for, Odin? I'm looking for all the drill bits that are in the little gray case that's marked for Yobi. They went with me to the video game expo.
So they were packed.
Yeah, at least they should have. And that's why I'm surprised it's not out on the counter. Because it's a...
Dan Does Junk says, Felicia, your garbage is different.
Oh yeah? Your garbage is different. Make fun of my garbage can. These.
Oh, I'm glad I flipped it over because I don't want that on the... Not that anyone would see it. I just see a smudge spot.
Isn't it transparent? Aren't you going to see both sides?
No, not on this glitter foam.
Oh, okay.
I want there to be a controller on the actual heat gun itself handle, like a click button, but there's...
Okay. Yes! Right. So
like I'm looking for something that's not there, and it's like user error, not machine error.
Yes, so there are some complaints. Number one complaint, but only because what happens with me with video, legally they have to put a warning sticker on every tool, and so the brand name is always set. Oh, look, this is actually on both sides. The brand name is always set on like the drills and everything else to where if I'm right-handed, which I am, I can see the name of the tool I'm using, and the camera gets to see the warning label side.
Which is great when you have to Greek everything.
Yeah, but with this particular tool. So this is not detachable. That's okay, but I'm always looking for cords to detach. The selector, you captured the wire. The selector knob for high-low on this thing, I wish it was just more of a clicker or something, because this is actually not easy to do necessarily one-handed. So I kind of wish that ergonomically was more friendly. I know people who don't have the greatest of finger strengths or dexterity, and they wouldn't be able to use this. So,
right, and then also my fingers are barely big enough to click it off.
Yeah, well, that's just
the next size of the battery. I have to use two hands, and
right.
My hands are just. So.
But that's a battery. So, yeah,
I know that is like that's why I picked the smaller batteries, is because I can put them on and off by myself.
There you go. I
Don't
put
need
them
to
all
ask
on
for
by
help.
myself.
Don't have to ask for help. Oh dang! Sean Card with the $10 super chat.
Wow, really?
Saying, "Hey Odin, sorry our ollies out here let us both down."
Oh.
That's okay. Did you tell them the good news?
No, I haven't told the good news yet. Sean, thank you so much for looking. That is fantastic. I appreciate it. The $10 will help. Louis Causey, who I don't even know if he's in the chat right now, over the past week drove around to, as he put it, multiple counties and to hit different ollies, and managed to find two at two different ollies. I don't know how many he visited. So Louis has two wands for us. And has actually already checked postage and shipped them out to my P.O. box. It's only going to be $30 to ship both of them, basically taped together and wrapped up in brown paper or whatever, which is fine. I really don't care if the boxes get hurt. I'm not going to save the box. I'm not looking for a collectible. So he and I are going to get that put together, and hopefully that'll get shipped out this week. But not a big deal, Lewis. If you're watching, I'm not trying to pressure you. When it happens, it happens. It's all good.
We have a couple weeks before we're even here.
Yeah, we have a couple weeks before we're back here, and even then, when they do show up, we'll have an unboxing and we'll play with them. You know, because we're not quite to the position of putting them together yet.
We're getting there, though.
Oh yeah, we are. So greebles. Yeah, everyone who heard us last week talking about it, thank you very much. Because Sean, you weren't the only one who looked. This is Sean Carg, right?
Yes.
Good. Sean, you weren't right.
What?
Oh, you checked again.
Yes,
Okay.
Sean Carg. And then the chat moved.
And the chat moved. Okay. So Sean, you weren't the only one who looked. I know a couple of other people looked as well. And all of you who did look, thank you very much. I appreciate it because I think Will looked and Ace looked. But so apparently they're already going out. That's kind of why I asked. I knew that was something that wasn't going to stick around very long. But I am seeing on Reddit that Star Wars figures are flying into Ollie's again. Well, you search for something once and it pops up all over the place. But anyway, so we have our wands coming in, and it's nice. I still don't mind working on ours. But one of the things that I remember Lewis saying was even if the wands aren't right enough for the 84 era that we're using, we can always just strip the guts out of the wands and use the electronics because that's not really different enough to worry about. So it's like, all right. It was $50 to just buy the light thing for this kit. Sure. They'll give us like an emitter tip and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Got some circles.
In fact, half the greebles I'm painting are for the wands, but I may as well paint them. Whatever, I got it. What am I over here for? I'm looking for...
Don't know. Greebles, screws, screw holes, screwers, drill bits that you can screw the right size.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for, the screw bits. I'm looking for the, now I'm looking for a bit holder so I can put...
You said you have a better diffuser than this foam?
Yep.
Can I sew through it?
Maybe. Give it a shot. I have.
This is just packaging foam. That is, it diffuses light. This. That looks impressive. That is not sew throughable.
Might be.
No, it will like shatter it. Trust me, I've tried. Weird things like this, like it'll.
That was cut with scissors. That.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, there's like a top layer.
But for a flat screen TV, this is the diffuser because the LEDs, the whole TV's less than an inch thick. So this is the diffuser for that. And I'm not sure. Okay, so that isn't diffusing it that much.
That compared to that, I think this does a better diffuser.
Yeah. Okay.
But thank you. That's awesome,
Sure.
and that's the right material for the job. This is just packing stuff that.
I guess there's more space between, or the LEDs are made differently. Whatever. Oh, okay, great. And then where's the illusion film? That was the other one I was thinking about. I might have to go out with the truck to get.
Oh, don't worry about it. It's fine.
Okay.
If it doesn't work, I'll move on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Done is better than perfect.
Pretty much. Okay.
All right.
The cosplay shed. Do you ever age Odin? Hope you're doing good. It's been a long
Cosplay
time.
Shed.
Shady's here saying yes about something.
Nice. Hello, Shady.
Louis Cossey says I'm here.
Sweet.
Ralph Mork says hi, Louis Cossey. And Bernard, am I right? Lemerite. I can butcher anyone's name. So sorry about that. Says, well, sadly, I've already spoken with famous French cosplayers, but I don't know them enough to have any impact. I hope that someday a con will invite you. I always suggest your name at the end.
Appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Right? Because I'm always down to go help. What are you looking for now?
The bits. I'm
Still looking for the bits? The screw bits?
Yeah.
The bits of screws?
I'm going through the two cases that I had at the last show. Oh, look, I dinged up my sign. Great.
Aw, that sucks. I'm sorry. Oops, that did not make it in the garbage. Okay. Is it this thing right here? No, those are just the heads, not the bits.
It's there's a square box that says is a gray plastic box that pops open and all the bits are inside.
Did we use that last week?
I don't know. Did we?
I feel like you brought out, and I organized them and stuck them in. Didn't we?
Maybe. Let me just look for
Okay.
something still over here still.
All right.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I got a whole bunch of other stuff put together already, and then there's like this one little thing that's like, oh yeah.
Found the glue sticks.
You found glue sticks? So
Yeah, not what you need, but definitely interesting find.
Alright, this will work.
You found something that'll work?
Yeah, something that'll work.
Okay.
So last
It
week
should be closed.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
So you did find it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were looking for the ones with the drill bits.
Well, the holder should be in here.
Okay.
Yeah, here it is. Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Oh, that piece? Okay, then yes, that you found what you were looking
Yeah,
for.
totally you found what I was looking for. Thank you. Where was that?
It was in here.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I brought that. I kept not looking at that thinking I didn't bring it. I didn't bring that.
Oh, this is a light. I'm like, what is this? It looks cool.
Yeah, so I don't know if it was battery.
It needs
or
battery, yeah.
Last week you talked about the cardboard workshop that we worked on at Video Game. So that was the cardboard sword that I had made during the workshop with Mariah and Ace.
Nice.
Or Ace? Yeah,
Give a
was
real
it
quick-
Ace? Ash. Ash.
Ash.
Yes, their name was Ash.
Yes. Okay. Mighty guitar mods. Is Felicia dressed up as Morticia Adams? I have that vibe going right now. I was like, this kind of reminds me of a karate-gi. It's like a one-piece little jumpsuit.
Yeah?
I don't know. I think it works. It's comfortable.
That's the most important.
I think it's like I look really pale in these lights with the red lipstick.
Okay.
And I have the long hair like Morticia.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's working. It's vibing. I'm going with it. I can pull a cosplay out of my butt. Let's do Morticia Adams right now.
And you did.
It's like a Disney-bound Worth outfit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I like the smell of Sharpie markers. It just feels like, oh, I'm crafting.
Yep.
I'm being successful.
Yep.
Oh, look at another super chat.
Another super chat?
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Got a $4.99 super chat from Shadowlands Radio. Saying,
Oh, wow.
I'm thinking eventually of making enough wood crafts to sell. Just not sure what a good starting price should be. Any suggestions? Bestions? So, this is where you have to just, like, break it down for reality. You have, like, take a piece of paper, write down all the materials you use. The saws, the glue, the wood itself, like all of these expenses that you don't necessarily take into consideration, like, oh, I already have all the saws and all the equipment, but, you know, like, give it a general, like, if I make 100 things out of this saw, how many, like,
right.
how much that cost is kind of a
your blade's gonna dull. When you have to buy a new blade, how many pieces can you get for that new blade? So how much blade cost is per piece?
So it's okay to estimate it, but also you have to take it into consideration. Then you have to consider how much time it takes you. Now, are you cutting these out by hands, or are you cutting these out by laser robots, where it's going to take you a lot of time up front getting it set up, but then once you get going, it's only going to take you a fraction of the time? Figure that out. How much time it takes for assembly. So materials, equipment, and your time. And then once you write that down, you break it down. And you go, okay.
Come on, Felicia, break it down for us. Sorry.
This literally cost me like $600 to make, or this cost me $100 to make, or this only actually cost me $5 to make when I break it down into those costs, and the time, and the energy, and how much you're paying yourself. Because then after that price, then you have your markup. Because you have to pay for yourself and your time. That's not your profit. That is the cost of it. That's the cost. And then you have to mark it up.
Yep.
And whatever percentage, even if it's only a 10% markup, you have to keep that in your head. Because if you give people discounts, you give them that 10% discount.
Right.
But you keep the price steady, so that it's not unfair for these people versus those people. This is the price and here's your discount, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So just having a worksheet written out so you have an idea, because it's such a woo-woo number until you do that, and then all of a sudden you realize that this quilt I've been working on is like a $5,000 quilt, not a $500 quilt like I thought it was, or
Yep.
an $80 quilt, because I already had all of this stuff, and it's just my time, but that time was like a whole week
Yep.
that's invested in this, and that whole week costs you more than $50 to live.
Yep.
So, and I know it's hard to be my own customer because I'm such a cheapskate going, oh, I can make that myself. My customer is not thinking that.
Right.
My customer is like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I would pay for that, you know, so.
Yeah.
I hope that helps, but getting it out of your brain and onto paper or into a program, onto a spreadsheet, onto however you want to organize it.
Right.
But time, most important. Don't discount your time, because that is probably the hardest part of it. Your labor is your time, but also your equipment and your materials. And yes, I got this free this time, but once that's out, you have to replenish and refilter, and you know, where is your suppliers coming from? So your time, material, and machinery upkeep. So and then packaging.
Yes. Do you need packaging? Shipping packaging.
We always add $1 for hangers when I'm doing designs, you know, because
Yeah.
it's a good a plastic bag and a hanger. Just
It's a cost.
it's a cost. So
I've heard this story before with some friends who were trying to help each other at a Renaissance fair. This is when I was working at Play. But they were making the bloomin' onions, and they had figured out the cost of the onions. They had figured out the cost of many different things, the cost of propane, everything else, but they weren't turning enough profit to. They're at a point of really considering, do I keep going or not, right? Because this isn't working out the way it should, but the price point seems good and everything else. So my friend went through and really helped them break it down, and he ended up realizing he was using twice as much oil as he thought he was per blooming onion because of how much it pulls out and how much boils off, right? So they ended up just making onions and measuring what all they had every time. And so he accounted for that cost of the oil as well as the markup, like you said. The cost of the onion went up like $1.50, $2, but it was enough that, oh, okay, this can continue to work because of how many he sold. That's a food item, not a craft item. But
Yep.
I've heard this before, and the whole idea of the amount of oil that was changing, that was like, oh yeah, that's duh, that makes sense. But at the same time, no, it wouldn't have occurred to me.
yeah, and I have experience in manufacturing, where I've been in manufacturing of furniture and in bridal gowns, both creative things that are on similar levels. And everything you have to break down, how many nails did I use? How many, you know, like how much yardage of fabric goes into this, but also how much wiggle room do I have if something gets cut out wrong? Because mistakes happen. How much will a mistake set you back?
Right.
You know, it happens. So that's my advice. Figure it out what it costs you to make it, and then figure out what it's going to cost to scale up, because the whole goal is to make more and more each time. So good luck with that. Sean Card, I have the complexion of a cavefish, LOL. I don't know what that means. Ralph Moore, Felicia would make a great Morticia. I have been Morticia on multiple occasions for Halloween. 2 years ago, I was Morticia. I also did a Wednesday Addams collar on a live stream on my channel, where I make Wednesday Addams collars, so I can turn almost any costume into a Wednesday costume. But yes, cut a circle and talk at the same time. Apparently that's supposed to be really hard, but I am doing it. Focusing on a task and speaking. Who can do that?
Nope. Sorry, I walked off and left you.
You're fine. I was reading comments and then cutting
that's
out a
good.
circle and talking at the same time. So.
Oh, that's good. I'm not even on
Oh,
screen
look
yet.
at greebles.
Greebles!
They're shiny. They're silver.
Greebles!
I'm done with this for now. You can.
Okay. But, you know, so Greebles wobbles, but they don't fall down, but they did. So I put the new screws that I wanted to glue, right, because these were just basic zinc screws. Punched a hole in the box that Lewis sent us, so I could just spray paint the heads black and the rest of it silver because it's going to get glued into foam. And then I brought out a piece of plywood, or no, excuse me, just a wooden board, so I could spray paint silver on. Most of these actually go on the wand, so I don't need them, but I thought I'd just go ahead and paint them now and have them painted. Some of the elbows actually are just primer gray because they're real gray plastic. So I've got those. But there's a whole bunch of stuff that are like a brass antique gold.
So you need to
Go
rub
pick them
and
up.
buff.
Go pick them up off the ground because I had laid down a piece of that thin cardboard to spray on, so I wouldn't spray on the tabletop. The wind blew them on the ground, so I've got little pieces. I hope I can find them all.
The wind. The wind.
The wind! Damn you, Zephyrus!
Oh my gosh.
So it's gonna take me a minute. Sorry.
Outdoors, right? Happens. Okay, am I missing a... Okay, those will be cut, not in circles. Hey, Odin, do you have a piece of cardboard that's about this size that I can cut out?
Yeah.
Oh, I see one. I'm helping myself.
Oh, good.
Is it okay if I use this?
Yep. Probably the one that's gonna go farther than that one, or there's one that's a little smaller, but probably not wide enough. You use that one.
Okay. Let's see. Any suggestions for fitting a 3D printed helmet? That is a very good question. I will ask Odin when he gets back because I feel like that is a problem that he has dealt with before, and I would go about it in a lot of different ways. I don't want to put that there. Put this here. I don't know if I should be holding it by that piece, but it seemed pretty steady. Not using these. Don't want to use the fabric scissors on the cardboard because that would be bad. Very bad. Okay, let's see. Cosplay shadow. Plus, never, ever, ever divulge your time and skill. Devalue your time and skill. Oh yeah, no. I helped somebody do a wedding recently, like a month ago, and she was talking about how she feels bad that she's not contributing as much financially to the wedding, but at the same time she's in charge. She as in I'm in charge of the decorations, so I understood the budget but also made it look amazing. And she's like, but it didn't cost as much as the other people are putting into the other parts of the wedding. And I'm like, yes, but they couldn't afford me. Like, I know I'm doing it on a budget for you because I love you, but also there's like the time and the talents and the effort and energy, and that I feel like is more expensive sometimes than just the materials. All right, cut and talk. At the same time I can do it. Okay, here's a good one.
Okay.
Steve Hall wants to know if there are any suggestions for fitting a 3D printed helmet, which I think is a very good question because you've had to scale up things.
Yeah.
How would you go about that?
Well, the one I did most recently, I actually followed one of Frankly Built's suggestions, which the two main ways that he went about it, both of which made a lot of sense to me. I can go get, I can wander off and go get a piece here in a second. Armorsmith Designer now supports 3D printed objects way better than it did when I was first playing with it. And so Frankly Built was using Armorsmith Designer to create a 3D avatar of himself. Roughly, right? It's like an artist's dummy drawing, which had the correct measurements for his head, and then he could scale the 3D printed objects on top of that head within the program and make the 3D printed object transparent so he could see where collisions were happening in order to scale it
where
to such a point.
Where the nose and ears were getting smooshed.
Yeah, where the nose and ears were getting smooshed, so he could see where it needed to go in order to reduce the smooshing. And then, in order to double check, and this is a piece I can go and get if we care, he would actually slice off a thin area, a thin slice, like, you know, you got your salami and you cut a slice of salami. So he's got this salami slice that's, you know, maybe 2 millimeters thick.
Like an MRI?
Yeah, like an MRI image of the tightest part of the helmet, the smallest part of the helmet that his head had to go through. And then he would just print that off and try it. And if it worked okay, then he would go on with, you know, printing more. But that was just a really quick test with his Iron Man helmet to make sure that it would fit over his head, over his arms. He could get his hand through it.
When you're patterning gloves and stuff, you have to measure this measurement right here to know if your sleeves are going to fit. So ahead, your neck is tiny, so very good advice.
Exactly. And so he did that for his biceps, he did it for his legs, everything to make sure that this stuff was going to fit on. He was going to have enough breathing room inside for whatever undergarment he was wearing in addition to the armor.
So overrated. I'm teasing. We just have run into this issue multiple times, which is hilarious, you know, like you actually
breathing.
Who needs to breathe? Who needs to see? That is not necessarily Oh, Odin and I made a TV head once. The guy could breathe, but he couldn't see. And then we also have done like those Martian globe head pieces for retro alien. It was a cool shoot. Anyways, we had to pump in air so that the person could breathe and not pass out. So issues we've had and dealt with in the past. Yes. So yes. I am not talking and cutting at the same time. I'm trying, but I was telling them about breathing tubes for the Mars helmet because we had to make sure that people could see. I mean, breathe. Yep. And then making sure people they didn't need to see was the TV helmet we did. You did?
Yep. The TV helmet. No, the actor couldn't see. He could see. He needed a guide because he could kind of look down inside the helmet. You know, you kind of look down.
But the whole scene was on a chair.
But the whole time he was acting, he was on a chair, so it didn't really matter.
Except for when he was beating up the demonic groom that was coming to life.
Yeah, but still, he probably managed it. I hope. But that was the script called for the TV to do a certain thing, and in hindsight, I did it in a way that it could have been shot practically and left alone. Because Gonzo wasn't 100% sure he was going to be able to do screen replacement like he wanted to. Since he was able to, if we were to shoot it again, probably put eye holes in the screen, even though it lights up and everything else, so the actor could at least see a little bit ahead of him. But no, there's often times, you know, Anthony Daniels could barely see anything. It could barely, you know... He couldn't eat in the C-3PO costume. There's shots of like a small straw, somebody trying to get him something so he could hydrate, and he couldn't sit. There was a board set up so he could lean back on a board and then just not have to support himself. He just kind of lay down vertically. Robert Picardo in Explorers, which is a great 80s film. It might be dated, but I'm saying it's great. You know, but anyway.
I love it when it all perfectly lines up. It means I did a good job. Sorry.
Yes. No, you're right. And folding it in half is exactly the right way to find the center of the circle. When he was doing in the end of the movie, Robert Picardo did all three of the aliens that the kids encountered at the end of the movie Explorers. They're all rubber suits, right? And so, or at least he did the son and the father, but I think he did all three. And the headgear that they made for the father alien, which had a secondary set of arms that came off of his head, and he had like snail eyes and a big oversized mouth. So there were these wrinkles in the father's face that Robert could see out of, and like freckles and nostrils he could breathe out of. So it was all very claustrophobic, but the head didn't have enough padding. So once he's glued into all this thing and he stands up and starts walking around, it's digging into his skull and it's painful. But it's taken hours to get into it, and Robert is a freaking trooper. And he's like, no, we're good. We're only shooting this character today. You guys go to lunch. I'll sit here and wait. And they came back, and he went through with everything else that was going on, and he got all the dad scenes done in one day. You only had to put that effing costume on once. But yeah, that's all part of taking care of your actors and making sure that stuff fits and is padded properly.
And it's also why they had a lot of rampant abuse in early Hollywood.
Yeah. Oh god, some of the early makeup was a nightmare. So I was trying to print a Mandalorian helmet for a friend, and this is my wedge of the Mandalorian helmet of the basic Din Djarin, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, the Mandalorian helmet, and I did this to make sure that the tightest point of the cheeks, I love how it's a skull, but you know, this slice of the Mandalorian helmet, I bridged the gap of the visor from the 3D model, exported it out of Tinkercad in order to make myself an SVG file, which I could then laser cut from plywood, just to make sure that it would actually go over my head. And it does. It catches on my ears, but that's not a big deal. It barely touches the sides of my ears, so that's not an issue. I'm used to helmets pushing my ears in, so I don't care. But I would know that, okay, this helmet will fit. This is the tightest part of the helmet, and it goes over my head. But I don't know what type of helmet you're printing. This is great for a bucket helmet, but if you're doing Iron Man or somebody else that's going to fit differently.
But you also have to pre-plan how you're going to get in and out of them in general.
Yeah, you do.
So.
Yeah, remember, going to the bathroom is a human thing, and even though you're probably good all day, in one instance, having the ability to go pee in the middle of the day is going to be huge. So whatever suit you're making, if you can make sure you've got a fly of some sort, or
bathroom
something that opens
access.
up. You have bathroom access, even if you
or
need an assistant.
Or a bathroom plan of action.
Yeah.
I'm only going to wear this till lunch, and then after lunch, I brought a different cosplay to change into.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
which will give you a bathroom plan of action.
Bathroom plan of action, not necessarily.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I've done plenty of things where that wasn't an option. And it's just like, well, it's sort of like a long road trip. We're just not going to do that. And generally speaking, that's okay. But if something unforeseen happens, and you gotta...
You know, you have to take into human factors.
Yeah.
You know, we are human, unfortunately.
We are, unfortunately. Please forgive us. We don't mean to be. We didn't exactly decide to be. I mean, maybe we did, but you know.
Right. We got another $4.99 super chat from Shadowlands Radio saying, "Thanks for the recommendation. I'll do my best to figure it out. I'm kind of math illiterate. Currently doing small scale projects. Juan Blinks." Nice. Okay, you don't have to be great with the math.
No, I think Shock Gremlin gave a hint of using Google with a link, which helps because there was something I think because I walked in to get the thing and Shock Gremlin told me they had. But anyway, thank you, Shadowlands. Go ahead.
Yes. You can also use Google Sheets,
yep,
where you can plug in the math you want it to do, and it can calculate for you.
Honestly, I use Google Sheets for more note-taking than any other program. There's just all sorts of dumb things I've got saved onto different Google Sheets. Ugh, sorry.
That's the same size as that.
Yeah, effectively.
And that.
Yeah.
And
that.
That.
Yep. Now, it is. Do you care? Are they symmetrical? Can you turn that one over and they're still the same size? I mean, it should be. I mean, is your arc still? Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah. Thank you for the suggestion. But it's like also second pair of eyes because to me it looks perfect because I can take this now as my pattern for each of my wedges for the bottom half for my pie divided into 4 pieces versus 3 pieces. 3 is not as easy to find out, but I have this one.
No.
So.
Yeah.
One-eighth.
Where's your center point?
I don't know. Right
okay.
Here.
Yeah, it is. That's exactly where it is. All right.
There you go. It is right there. I know it's a thick marker.
It's okay. Right now, all I need is a dot, and then I'll get a pencil to do the rest.
Wait, let me double check this side.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it's right there.
You're still happy with it? Flipping it over or whatever?
Yeah.
Hey, look what's in here. Another one of those things I was looking for.
Right.
I will use a protractor to figure out where 60 degrees is.
Oh, look at the right tool for the job.
So I'm going to put the 0 on the cardboard line, and I'll put the 180 on this side of the cardboard line, and I'll move my spinny thingy. I know you guys can't see what I'm doing, to the dot there, and then all I have to do, well, you know, it's using a protractor. You guys know how to use a protractor, right? You may not. I don't know. That doesn't work really well. That's a fantastic shot, dude. Come here. No, I'm still not zooming in.
Okay.
This is not doing it? There it goes. Okay. So we'll go to 4. So I've got my center points for my cardboard on the circle, and I've got a round protractor.
Oh wait, hold on before we do that. Let me just double check that it's the center by doing that.
Sure.
Yep, close enough.
Fold it in half, still fill within the wrinkle, close enough. Okay.
Yep. Like, it's just practical ways to not math.
Yeah, but this is the third, so either you're
Yeah.
going to guess on folding a third, like I guess almost all the time with folding up a letter.
But I'd rather not.
So I'm going to take the 0 mark of this circular protractor and put it on this half of the cut. On this side, I got 180, which is degrees, right? 360 degrees to a circle. 180 on this side. And the center, I'm going to put at my center point. So now anywhere this line falls is radiating from the center. So if I point my circle at 60 degrees, that's the first one. And now I bring it out, and I move it, but whatever. Bring it out to 120 degrees. And why is it 60 degrees? Because 6 times 6 is 360, right? 6 60s is 360. So that would make 6 pie pieces. But we only need 3, so that's going to work out for this. So now we have a line.
Oh, yep.
Oh, go ahead.
I just go for clear. You go for.
Yeah. I go. Well, it was also here.
Yeah.
And so then we just continue our line out.
Yep, and I eyeball it, counting in the thickness of our
of the lead.
Of the lead, yeah.
Of the non-brand specific yet oddly orange carpentry pencil. And there you go. That's so yeah. This is I found out Blick Art Materials. I really like this protractor.
Right, the right tool for the job makes it significantly easier, but it's not going to stop me if I don't have it.
Nope. A regular like half circle works the same way. You just end up putting a dot at 0 and put a dot at the 60 point, and then you come back with a ruler anyway and draw a line, right? But that was all fun because it's like a spiral graph for those of us who remember that toy.
Yep. Spirographs are fun, and I think they get you prepared for 3D printers. I'm just saying.
Yeah, at this point, yeah. Get you prepared for drafting.
Yep. Perfecto. Look at that.
Nice.
So now
It's almost like I know how to math some things.
Right.
Sometimes.
Well, there's the thing is you can mathematically do it practically.
Yes.
Or theoretically.
Yeah, you can mathematically do it and still be effing wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. You really, really can.
Small and large.
So the greebles I'm using are still the Q Pack, the ones that I think Quentin, I think was the guy's name. That's why it's called a Q Pack. These are still the parts that are from the Q Pack build. And so I can 3D, now that they're 3D printed, they're all resin printed. And looking at my reference photos, I realized how these go together and how I glued some together wrong last time. But that's okay. I got a model kit. I made. I didn't make it. I didn't 3D write,
but that's basically what we're doing is we're putting together a model kit.
Yeah, pretty much.
We got the instructions from Lost Wax Oz.
Yep, Lost Wax Oz, Ghostbusters fans,
Yeah.
Lewis, Q Pack.
Yeah.
Q Pack.
So
Q Pack for sure.
lots
Sorry.
of self-assembly.
Yeah.
Yes.
I spent a lot of time building model kits.
You don't say.
Yep. There we are. There's 4. I should have 2 more. They might still be outside in the ground, too. There's 1. I don't need 8, but I printed 8. Looks like I may be missing 1 still.
Okay. So for my
no, I only
pockets
need
to
5.
work, I think I want this clear layer and my diffusion layer to act as one, so it slides behind this as the pocket. But I want this layer and my backing layer to act as one piece.
Yes. My opinion.
And so that I slide in the gels in between these two layers, and I slide in the lights in between these two layers.
That is the way, yes. That's the way you described it earlier. That makes sense to me.
Getting the gels in between this layer and being able to do it. Gels in this layer and lights in this layer.
Right. Now, you want to pull the gels out so you can wash it, or?
Well, I don't.
Well, this piece was coming off, right?
Ultimately, it's going to be one whole piece because it's going to be seamed and sewn.
Yeah.
But I do want little pockets to be able to get into it from...
Yeah.
I want to be able to get the lights be able to be switched out
and
upgraded eventually.
Okay.
So the lights have to go between these two layers. But the gels, I think, need to go in front of the diffusion layer.
Yes. You want the gels to be in front of the diffusion layer so it has the color even when it's off.
So I think if I have to put a black bias binding, I'm going to put it on this layer all by itself.
Okay.
And I'm going to not bind this layer at all, but I think I'm going to bind these two layers together. So this has a black bias binding, no black bias binding, and then this will have a black bias binding. So when they're on top of each other, it's just a thick black line around the outside, both in the top one.
So you have just two layers of black bias, which whatever,
will line up
fine. Yeah.
So it'll just keep the lines clean.
Yeah, I like it.
And but I want to be able to get the gels in front.
Not that she needs my permission.
So I know, but sometimes it's we bounce ideas off of each other, and we will disagree sometimes. Going, I wouldn't do it that way, but do whatever you want.
Is she really gonna do that? Sorry.
Yeah.
No.
So, and also sometimes saying it out loud helps you realize things. You know.
Yes. It's like, oh, I hadn't thought about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Most of these silver parts actually go to the wand. There's a couple of clapper valves.
That sounds wonderful.
Valves. Oh, yes.
Okay. Hi.
It's Bean.
Hi, Bean. He does not like it when I ignore him. Poor babies. Oh, missing greebles.
Oh, you found a couple more from outside? Thank you. There are wand greebles, unfortunately, but thank you. Thank you for going outside and looking.
Okay. I have been ignoring a lot of chat, but there's a lot of chat, so that's a good thing.
Well.
And plus, I need to step away because I'm at a stopping spot that I'm like, oh, I got it all cut out. I can move.
Okay.
On.
Move on to the next thing.
I can talk and read, but I can't cut and read at the same time.
Right.
What are you looking at?
Oh, I was gonna come over to help.
Yeah, go for it. Do it.
Oops. Sorry, Bean. Come here, buddy.
He is not happy that you.
Well, I just kind of kicked him, not hard. Like,
right,
you know.
Yeah. He was not happy about that, and plus I was ignoring him, and he's like, I got Odin to pay attention to me.
Yeah, I'm happy now.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
You're a good boy. Thank you, Bean.
Stephen Hall, thanks. I plan on doing a... How do you say that?
Is it a psychonaut or psychopath or psycho ranger?
Psycho Ranger.
Yeah, Psycho Ranger cosplay. I don't know what a Psycho Ranger is.
I
want to be a Psycho Ranger. I want to be in the life of danger. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Psycho Ranger sounds psychotic and fun. Prop Slayer Studio says hello there. Hello, Prop Slayer Studio.
Hello, Prop Slayer Studio.
Shady, best advice I can give you is just play with it until you're happy with it. What you done? Pretty much, right?
Yeah.
The Cosplay Shed says Michael Keaton couldn't move his head or hear anything in the first Batman film. Yeah, happens all the time. You cannot hear, like the Princess Leia helmet. I cannot hear what's going on. I'm in like earmuffs mode.
Right.
In that, and it's really kind of peaceful when you're at a cosplay.
Right.
At a cosplay.
At a con?
I was gonna say cosplay convention, but at a con, because the overall murmur, it just can't hear much of what's going on.
But the actual ones had foam, so the actors could hear, because the helmets they based them off of, the World War II helmets had the leather things had a spot where the headphones, the headset would go into so they could communicate on the plane. So for the movie, those were removed, and they had this like hole, and they just put it's like a stipple sponge for makeup. It's that black, really big open cell sponge. It's also used on coffee dispensers to catch the coffee but give a place a paper cup can sit. That's all it was in the original helmets. You could easily hear through it, but it looked black on screen.
Yeah. Ours are hollow.
Ours
but
are hollow,
they don't have holes.
No, they're 3D printed. Because James helped make pieces for it, which looked awesome.
But you do have to direct them to here.
Yeah.
Or I have to lift them up to here. But I 100% get what's going on with that. But it's also sometimes nice to just drown everything out.
Yeah, it is.
Adventures of Alex Stoner says, "Hi Felicia, how are you? I'm doing just peachy." And then he also says, "Hi Odin, how are you?"
Hello, Alex Stoner, doing well, thank you. I'm actually working on the... Yeah.
Vin Hall says, "Been there, was a Green Lantern, and the costume is a Psycho Ranger." Okay.
Oh, okay.
Sean Clark, who folds a letter anymore? LOL.
Yeah, basically, so specifically...
Who deals in analog technology like paper?
Etsy sellers. Pretty much the only letters I send out are for my Etsy shop, where I still sell Doctor Who TARDIS Lego stickers. And I'm still selling, 5 or 6 a month. And I just, the stickers I put into a paper envelope, fold it up into thirds, and ship it off. So at this point, I know from the printout from Etsy where I need to put the third fold. But at the same time, it's like, is this the right spot or not? Am I doing this wrong? Yeah, anyway.
When I worked for the Sacramento County Office of Education, California High School Proficiency Exam Office, I got really good at saying that. They had a machine that folded paper perfectly into thirds.
Yep.
And they had the best copy machine that could, staple everything together. It can collate.
Yep.
Collate everything.
So, multi-page document, it would scan and then print them out in order. Sometimes
I would use it to count out copies. Because I had to count out 100 of these papers, so I do 100 blank copies to count out.
I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah.
So I would use it to count for me. I would use it to organize for me. And then I would use it to, we had a separate folding machine.
Yeah.
The right tools for the job make it significantly easier.
I can't remember where I worked.
I love playing with copy machines.
Because we had one of those.
My job was always to clog it.
It was like a top folder. It was like a top load. You'd put the paper into the top, and it would go down and fold in half, and then it would go down again and fold. It's like fold and crease. I can't remember what job I had that had, because I didn't have to use it every day. Yeah. But I always thought it was really cool.
My job was student assistant, so a lot of my job was, can you just count these and put these presentations together?
Right.
But that's where I realized that you can really organize using rainbow colors, because I was told I could use whatever color I wanted to put the presentation together. And the guy was like, I don't know what you did, but I got lots of compliments on the last presentation. It was in these yellow accordion binders, and so I did it in rainbow order, and then when I ran out of colors, I did it in pastel rainbow color, and when I ran out of the colors, then I did it in the brights rainbow color.
Wow.
So
you had a lot of...
Yeah, my job was to print out all the things for this giant presentation that they had going on. And he's like, whatever you did, it looked amazing and you made me look impressive. And I'm like, yes, maybe I should do that for a living. Put together people's presentations. Print them out. And all I did was organize it by color so that it was easy to then put it together and you knew exactly where each paper needed to be.
Yeah.
And so when you were like, all right, now we're moving on to this section, everybody pull out your purple paper. It makes a lot... Anyways, rainbow orders is a really easy way to organize things, especially from a mile away. And when I was doing the wedding dresses, I used clipboards to keep things organized. Right. And I could know which dress was what by which clipboard was through the clear bin project-wise. So,
okay.
I could knew my order and what was going on based on color, and it was a mile away without having to overlook up things. Just, if it helps anybody... Sean Carg, I always talk to myself on projects. I need an expert opinion.
Yep.
See, I talk to myself, but then I also talk talk to him, and like I love it sometimes that we're both working on different projects, and like he'll tell me about his project, and I'll be like, you could do it this way and that way and that way, and he'd be like, I'm still gonna only do it this way. I'm like, yep, fair enough. And then he does the same
sometimes
thing.
it's like, oh, yeah, that's brilliant.
Oh, I don't have to use this. I could just use this. Yeah, doesn't that work? It's cheaper, isn't it?
Yeah, it
I
is.
have that one done. So it really does help to have somebody who is a like-minded crafter, because other times you talk to people and they just like this glazed over look on their face, like, huh? Like you're speaking a foreign language.
Why do you want to do that? Yeah.
Yeah. My actual direct supervisor, who's in charge of me when we're talking about like our actual job, like I need these needles for the machine, he just gets a glazed look over his eyes and he's like, I have no idea what you are talking about, but I trust you.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Just kind of realized. Oh yeah.
I don't know. Oh, my pair's at my house.
Well, there's more up there if you want a pair, but you weren't directly looking at it.
Yeah. No, I wasn't.
What's funny is now I want to look underneath it so I have a clear vision of it.
Mighty Guitar Mod says, maybe Felicia can help me organize my pitch deck. Hey, I was really good at organizing, like in middle school, you would play Magic the Gathering with the kids who played inside at recess.
Oh, okay.
And I wasn't cool enough to have my own deck, but I would play with the other people's with their extra deck.
Uh-huh.
And the secret was always to put every other card an energy card, so that when you shuffled your deck, you always had energy cards evenly throughout the deck, so you're not always going, I need some energy.
Yeah.
So I've had lots of experience organizing without.
Yeah. Organizing for different reasons.
Right.
Now it didn't get me. Go ahead and cut if you would. But this, kids, is why you wear safety glasses, because my 3D printed part chipped and this little piece went flying. Thankfully, Felicia didn't cry out, so I didn't hit her. But that's why you're supposed to wear safety glasses, which maybe I remembered on the third part.
Where are they? I think maybe
well,
I do need
at this point, I'm going to stop using this particular bit because I don't want to do that particular motion anymore, and I want to go to a grinding bit that isn't going to cause that type of a chip. So I just need to get. Well, yeah, fair. You're right. I just want like a drum sander or a.
Iana Lift is here saying hi, everyone.
Nice. Hello, Iana Lift.
Sorry, I'm running late. We went to Red Lobster for lunch. I feel like that's a perfectly good reason to be late.
Completely
I
acceptable.
hope you enjoyed your seafood. The Cosplay Shed says, if I wanted to send some greebles to Odin, is there an address or should I message you directly?
Yes, I believe there's an address in the description of this live stream. My address is P.O. Box 3152 in Orangevale, California, 95662. Yeah.
It's in the description below.
It is in the description below. Yeah.
You can also rewind and hear him say it again and again, as many times as you like in the future.
P.O. Box 3152, Orangevale, California. That's Orange, V-A-L-E, Orangevale, California, 95662.
Yeah, I feel like we're leaving a message on an answering machine.
Hello, you've reached Odin. He's not in his mind right now. Please leave a message or send a letter to.
And then Shadowlands Radio with another $4.99 super chat.
Okay.
Chat says, I tend to find the sticks for staffs and wands during good walks or at the Illinois State Fairgrounds. Currently, my wood is free. Nice.
Oh, nice. I see. So you're making the sticks and staffs for the... Oh, okay.
Again, you have to make sure that you have that resource. So if you have to pay for parking to park at a state park or anything like that, count that into your cost of your wood, your time in gathering them. So yes, it's free, but how much does it cost you to obtain the free materials?
Literally, the guy that was helping the Bloomin' Onion guys at the Renaissance Fair, his booth was called Twigs Bent, and he made walking sticks. And Bevan got so good at it that he actually had to spend time each year driving out to different states to collect willow, to collect birch, to collect, the different woods in order to make the sticks and have a consistent size and type. And then he would woodwork them all. And he had the biggest air drum sander. I can't what it's called. It would rotate, but it also inflated, so it would give, and it worked really well for sanding his sticks. It was like, wow, this thing's a really wonky but cool specialized tool. But yeah, he also made like pipes bent and a bunch of other woodwork.
So
The bone pen that I have, he made that wherever that is.
No worries there.
Yeah, it's an older video.
Yeah. But as you scale up and you increase production, you're going to need. So you have to think about scaling up, or if you want to stay small. But ultimately, yes, it's free for now.
Right.
Will it always be free? Does it just grow on trees? Yes, it does. You know what? That's great.
Yeah, that's great.
You have a tree source that you're currently harvesting from.
Yeah, that's great. Is that tree
like,
source going to produce enough to sustain you every year?
I know that you could rent out like an almond tree. Like I had a friend whose kids had a chocolate company where they rented out the cost of an almond tree, so they got the almonds from this particular tree when they did harvesting.
Oh, okay.
And so they paid like a monthly fee to maintain
the tree,
to rent the tree or whatever.
Yeah.
So like there are ways to make sure that you have renewable resources.
Okay.
But yes, free is great. We do use free because it's creative people. We are always trying to figure out how to make it work with what we have.
Oh yeah.
But also long term, where are you going to get your stuff next for the next project and the next one and the next one?
Yeah. But
and if it's nature hikes, you count in the cost of I have to pay for my parking or I have to pay for my entrance fee into the fairgrounds or whatever.
Yeah.
And gather accordingly.
There it is. This is the last one I'm looking for.
Oh, nice. Doesn't cost me anything to get them currently due to my day job. Get a lot of backstock. Get going on it.
Yeah.
Support you. I understand. I feel it.
Yeah, yeah.
And that is another $4.99 super chat. So look at
Yeah,
this
another
super
one?
chatter.
So Shadowlands has done 3? Well, thank you, sir. or thank you, person. I think, sir. But
yeah. Stupid Monkey says P.O. Box is in the description at the cosplay shed.
Yep.
Iana says, I had shrimp your way. You get to choose 3 different kinds of shrimp and a side. Ooh, you're getting me hungry. I'm like ready for lunch.
How do you have? Okay, I can appreciate going to Red Lobster and getting shrimp like that, but if you got shrimp my way, how did you know how I like shrimp?
You get to order it.
Oh, it's just called shrimp your way, so
yeah,
it wasn't
you can
shrimp
order
Odin's
3
way?
different ways,
Oh,
or
okay.
however
Right.
you want. Yes. Prime Directive Design says, hey guys, have your stream playing as I'm making a Star Trek First Contact spacesuit for my newly formed channel. Feels like there are other people working here besides me. Thanks. Exactly. I do the exact same thing. When I am in my zone at work, I like just feeling like there's other things going on, so I listen to like live streams like this.
Oh yeah.
And it really helps me get through projects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First Contact spacesuit? Really? That's cool.
Yes. I'm really kind of sad because I got all the stuff to make the red what's her face's name? I'm butchering it. That red dress that I showed you I patterned it, I got the fabric and was ready to do it. And then I used it for completely other projects.
Not the Lydia Beetlejuice Bride red dress, but
Star Trek
red dress. Luxana Troy? No. Red dress.
Who is the lady who is in classic Star Trek?
T'Pol? No. Oh, just the uniform, Yeoman Rand or Uhura. Okay,
Uhura.
The Starfleet uniform. Okay. Sorry, I'm not thinking of it as a dress. It is.
Yes.
But my mind didn't go there with that noun.
Yeah, because we were talking about how they have one on display at the Star Trek Museum that has your...
Yeah, that has my bridge set.
Yeah.
In another room in here, we've got a science officer uniform, but it got laundered or something, and the dye came out weird, so it's got kind of a splotchy blue on it. But it's a science officer, and it's built off the Franz Joseph technical manual pattern, which you've got the emblem, and all the seams radiate out from the emblem.
Yeah, you sent me that pattern, and when I looked at the actual uniform in the reference images you sent me, was not the same pattern.
Nope.
They were completely different.
Yep.
And so then I came up with my own pattern, which was a makeshift between the two.
Yep.
And then I never made it.
Yeah, whatever.
And I ended up making some crazy stuff. that wasn't that. But that fabric was really awesome fabric, and now I'm completely out of it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Projects happen, or they don't.
And you can get more pattern.
Right? It's not like I don't have the skills still.
Right.
It's just like, oh yeah, I was doing that and then got distracted. Did not happen.
We got distracted? What? That never happens.
It's so much easier with your own personal projects than...
oh, yeah.
Yes.
Dun. Dun.
Ralph Mork says, on topics went all over the place at Ionolith, but it was great fun. Oh, so what are we talking
yesterday,
about?
yeah. Or today even, yeah.
It's been all over the place. It is what it is. Ionolith says, at Odin Makes, yeah, on the menu it's called Shrimp Your Way, and they have a list of 4 different ships. You choose 2, it's 17. If you choose 3, it's 22.
Nice.
You know what? That's actually not a bad price.
No.
Especially considering how much everything is these days.
Right. In all honesty, kind of impressed. You know where a Red Lobster is that's still open.
Right? Mighty Guitar Mod says, you don't want to launder those. The original 60s version was dry clean only, and they had a shrinking problem.
Yep.
No problem shrinking, or just a shrinking problem.
I think it was, in Shatner's case, it was more of an expansion problem of the actor. But, yeah.
Right. Polyesters and double knits don't typically, like, shrink. Natural fibers really do. But if they dyed them... Oh. A little stuck there?
There we go. Now it fits. Yeah, a little stuck there.
A little stuck there. All right. I made some big progress on this. I'm
that's
working
good.
on it at the moment.
That's
I'm just
fine.
going to put it to the side.
I'm
Pull out
still
the sewing
just
machine later.
gluing greebles, but I'm actually... So... I'm missing one on this one here. Okay.
What are you missing? Is that the one you broke?
There's a little insert. No, I think I glued the broken one already. There it is. But it's okay, because even in the reference images, like, it bugs me that some of these have a large seam in the side. Even in the reference images, the Murray pack, these old plastic pieces have split because of their age. I was like, who cares? It's fine. It's
called texture.
Where it is right now, yeah.
Is it those pieces
probably
right
wasn't
here?
split back in the day, but it is now.
Is it this piece?
No, that's supposed to go into this piece, but
okay.
but on a previous build, I was putting the wrong pieces into those pieces, so it's probably it's not that one. So I probably glued it into the wrong spot.
Okay, so it's another game of I Spy.
Yeah, because there's all these that have this. There it is actually.
Oh,
See that one's straight, right? And this one's got kind of a milk
Lego
jug
head.
shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the wrong one because it's a bigger diameter. So this is the one that fits inside.
Okay. Mystery solved.
Yep. Managed to find all the parts. Okay, and I need to go turn Mr. Machine on again.
Let's see. Richard Stroh says, my crown is based off of King Boo's from Mario, but it looks like it's made spiders and going to have a skull gem and the dark moon, and I'm making the crown out of PLA filament. Ooh.
Okay.
Yes. Safety third.
Yeah, unfortunately. I think I'll do a little of both.
Look at it clean myself.
We got another super chat. Just now.
George's Studio.
Jorge Studio or George's?
It starts
George's?
with a Y, not a G.
Oh, it's still Georgie's, isn't it? Anyway, yeah.
George's Studio. I can butcher anybody's name. You can let us know how to pronounce it correctly if you really like. Says, really miss your videos. Glad you're doing well. Glad you're still working on projects. What are you working on?
I'm currently working on some of the small greebles that go onto Ghostbusters Proton Pack. These were all 3D printed from the Q-Pack file. But we've been working on on Proton Packs, and so I'm finally at a point where I can start gluing greebles on, and that's what I've been working on. Felicia's on a side quest where she's making a jumpsuit for a show that is going into production that none of us have heard of yet.
Yes.
But thank you very much for the super chat. I want to get more videos going. I really do. And it's not like, oh, I just can't. Oh, but no. Life has been dealing us shit hands after shit hands. But this past week, I've actually had a lot more. Hey, I want to go play out in the shop, and I want to get things going, and I want to get videos going, and so I'm in a way better mindset than I've been in a very long time. So I did the paper airplanes. Hitting. Yeah, inspiration's hitting. The desire to do is hitting.
The apathy is letting up.
Yes, and after a commute home, I still have interest in doing.
Right, after a whole full day's worth of a 9 to 5.
Right, and that's been amazing.
Yeah.
So
the encouragement helps. All your guys' supportive comments help. So getting out of the funk.
Yeah, it's been a very deep funk pit that I've been in for a very long time, and I didn't really share it with a lot of people. But yeah, I'm
crawling out of the hole.
Way crawling out of the hole.
I am looking over at your glasses, and it looks like you had a near miss, and good thing you're wearing those.
That's paint, I think.
Okay, good. Because it looks like, whoo, those glasses were necessary. Another $1.99
wow
super chat from Shadowlands Radio says, "Hey Odin, my pronouns are she, her."
Oh wow, sorry. Oh man, you.
By default, I assume everybody's a lady. No, I'm just teasing.
Well, by default, everybody is. Men just go off the beaten path, or very early on in development. That was the best part from that stupid, it's gender is decided at conception. Okay, we're all female. That's easy. Great.
Science.
So I'm sorry, Shadowlands Radio. Well, I will do my best to remember. It is she, her.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Mighty.
I'm sorry. What's one of the fun things I try to have to get over, having gone to grade school in the 70s and the early 80s, at that point in time, English class, if you didn't know, then it was just automatically he, him. Seriously, that's the way it was just that short time ago. That unknown was just assumed he, him. And this was a way of writing. That is not what it is anymore, and that is a very good thing. I'm not trying to defend how I was taught, but I was such a horrible English student. There are some dumb lessons that I still really remember because of how hard they had to hound them into me. So, yeah, anyway. Cool! I'm really glad that you're able to get, because Shadowlands is doing the sticks, the walking sticks, right? Yeah, I'm really glad that you're able to find some of your resources on your work hikes. That's very cool.
Right. Renewable resources.
Renewable resources.
Because I know that every year I have to chop back my pomegranate tree
and
such. And I made a whole bunch of magic wands
for
a party. And now that the party's over, I'm like, I don't need these anymore. What do I do with all these sticks?
Yep.
We had a fire. It was lovely.
Oh, there you go. Mm-hmm. Joe Gillis has suggested on more than one occasion that as a April Fool's build, I should make a Harry Potter wand, and then it just cuts to me walking along the trail. Oh, hey! Pick up a stick. Roll credits.
Right. My little brother dressed up like Ollivander and helped everybody make their own custom wands.
Nice.
Yeah, and it was funny because he's like, the wand chooses the wizard. You don't get a pick out. It was cute. It turned out really adorable. So.
There we go. Wow, I actually found all the parts.
Louis Cossey says, I read that they had someone follow Bill Murray. He hated the pack so much he would just drop it when they yelled cut.
Wow. Okay, I'll believe that. I see that there's extra padding in the back of his pack, too. There's because there's padding for the back of the Alice frame, and then a secondary piece on the motherboard. That's right. Probably just from running. I bet I hit him in the back of the head. Plus, I'm sure they were heavy. But he would just drop it? Wow.
Right. No respect.
So is that Shadowlands? What's the bottom of Yorgie's
George
again?
Studio with $5 super chat says, I know what it's like. I'm sorry, I lost my dad a month ago. Keep going, distract yourself, right? So much love for you, Odin. It's gonna be okay.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm sorry about your dad.
Sorry about your dad. I lost mine in '99, but
it never gets easy. No. Yeah.
It doesn't. Yeah.
But it does help distracting yourself when you are able to get into a project. But getting into a project sometimes can be really freaking hard. Yeah. So, yay.
I printed up like 8 banjos. We need 4, but I got 8.
Well, we didn't. We had half as many as we needed last time.
Right.
So better to have too many than not enough. James Allen's here saying hi, y'all.
Oh, sweet. Hello, James.
And DJ Stumpy says, with my current stresses, I've been making sure I go to the allotment or do something else that takes my brain off the situation for a few minutes. A great way to de-stress. Right?
Good.
Sometimes you gotta distract. Distraction is a coping mechanism.
Honestly, a major one that I've been using for way too long is Minecraft. That just becomes a really safe, peaceful place to go to when I'm like not okay, and it really helps. You know, do I get crafts done because I'm doing it? No, but what happened?
Oh, you put that guy with those guys, and he goes with those guys.
Okay.
And I know you didn't do it on purpose, so I just put him with his friends.
That's fine. Thank you. Appreciate. Didn't mean to.
No, you're fine. I'm just getting into what you're doing because I'm over what I'm doing. I got
that's fine.
To a good spot, and I can work on it later.
So one of the other things I ordered, and it actually showed up, and I think I've got it. Don't I have it out here?
I don't know what it is.
Now I'm looking for a small Amazon box. I thought I brought it out here. The short little.
The one that you did the holes in?
No, that was what the jumpsuits came on. Hi, Bean. You want to go back inside?
I spy with my little eye lots of Amazon boxes, but not anything new. Maybe I don't know what he's talking about. I can't see over the desk. I don't see any new Oh, that's because it wasn't in here.
I love how early in the stream I told you you could walk off anytime you wanted to get coffee if you wanted to, right? Hasn't left at all because Super Trooper. Meanwhile, that was my 6th time I walked off set to go find something. What I've got here. On the pack, there are a number of tubes and wires, and generally speaking, it's pretty much just tubes. And so Ghostbusters fans, gbfans.net, has a little store where you can purchase just a couple of feet of what you need. That of the red tube and the blue tube. There's also a yellow tube and a green tube, and
it's certified.
It's certified, and the red and yellow tubes also come in different sizes. Well, they listed all that on the site, so I just went to Amazon because while they're only charging $1.50 a foot for the tube, which is not a bad price.
It's a cutter.
Yeah, which is not a bad price. I'm not against that. In order to buy enough for 2 packs, that put me at just a couple of dollars shy of the $10 it would cost to buy a roll from Amazon. It's like, all right, I'll have more tube that I can get lost in the garage. That sounds like a great plan.
This looks like a dangerous chip clip.
It is a very dangerous chip clip. And yeah, I like this one because it also came with some pneumatic fittings.
Like a finger guillotine.
Yeah.
Like, don't touch the sharpness, but I want to.
Yeah, well, that'll cut the end off your little cigar too, right? Because you have to, anyway. So some of these fittings go with these tubes.
Barbie binoculars. Oh, no.
Basically. So some of these fittings go with these tubes, and then there's a bit of that split loom quarter inch goes over the end of it as well. But honestly, I don't think we're at a point to be able to glue really any of these onto the packs because some of these go onto the bottom of the collection tube and whatever else. But
so we need tubes and things to put some of these on. Okay.
Right. I've got 3 more sizes and colors of tubes showing up because yellow comes in 2 sizes or red does, whichever one it is. I got the right one. And then there's a green tube that only goes in the one that I don't need now. But I ordered it anyway. So all that's going to show up later on in this week, as well as the split loom tubing and stuff. But so like these parts are pneumatic parts. So these are a 3D printed part to represent
the real things.
The real things. Yeah, that's the modern version.
Yeah.
And yeah, so this we'll just need to put a wooden dowel or whatever that to glue the 2 pieces together. And yeah, this kit came with the cutter, so it's like, okay, great tool. I like tools.
Right, that's a dangerous little clothespin right there.
And so, yeah, they just end up going on pretty much like that. So I just need to get a probably a 1/8 inch wooden dowel or yeah, probably just be wooden dowel to glue in order to pin these together. But yeah, that was it was. It's been fun finding stuff,
yet, and now we do.
And now we do, exactly. More little bits and pieces.
Because we're in the category, and now we're getting there.
Now we're getting there, yes. And buying stuff like this
adds up real quick.
So
thank you for all your super chats.
Yes, the cost of the it did. The cost of us building at this point is probably getting close to just buying, a good quality one. So, but whatever. Yeah. The whole point was to make it. Yeah, you get more coffee. The whole point was to make it, so that's not a big deal.
We're making it.
Yeah.
We don't have to make the tubes from scratch.
No, we don't. Well, I wasn't. Well, we could have, right? It occurred to me.
We always try to.
We always try to. Well, it occurred to me that I could use it's 1/4 inch OD vinyl tubing is pretty much what's called out for on GB fans, if I remember correctly. It would be easy enough to find the equivalent size of wire, and just get it from the Goodwill or somewhere else, because you only need, 1.5 feet for any given length that's on the pack. Buying it longer just means I can cut it down to what I need. But if I wanted it to be a specific color, I could put a piece of shrink tubing over that wire to get it to be a 1/4 inch and be the right color, and away we go. But the cost of the shrink tubing and everything else, just buy the vinyl tubing, right? So that's just what I did. So I got all these glued together. I think I probably can put some of these on the grain towers. So I think I could probably do the grain tower pieces. Oh, these go on the wands. But the first thing I want to do now still is finish putting the screws on. And I might go back and just put the ribbon cable on, and the rest of this stuff I'll wait until the other tube pieces show up. Plus, I need to remake the Bussard tubes. I swear that's a Star Trek thing. The Bussard scoop. It's right where the deflector dish is. Or no, it's not a deflector dish. It's the fronts of the nacelles. Anyway, I need to rework the ones that we made, because now they need to just attach to the pack instead of the way Chris had built them for Lost Wax Oz. They fit into the pack. I've got a circuit board in the way. They can't go in anymore. But that's okay. So we just need to make that work. Put those things down. I need a pack. And I'm going to put the screws on the cyclotron bumper. There's a pair of screws that go, I'll have to double check, but there's a pair of screws that go up next to what Chris called the grain tower, and there's a pair of screws that go over next to the V-clip that isn't on yet. And then there's the socket screws that go around this piece in the front. So I kind of want to just glue all those on, because they're just, yeah, there's socket screws that go here on the clapper valve. And I think these knobs are clipper valve knobs. So on the pack, the clipper valve that has the little center bump, if I remember right, that's the one that goes on here. And I don't think I need to keep the stand that's on it. I think I need to cut the foam off, because this represents the valve top. So I need to cut that off and glue this on. And the Q pack, I think, also came with clipper valve tops, but at this point, I've made foam ones and I put stickers on it, so I'm not going to do that. All right, so there's that, there's those. So what I wanted was the hole drill, which I found and set aside. Okay, this should be fine. Anything happening over here? DJ Stumpy, did anybody get any records from yesterday's record store day? No, I didn't leave the house yesterday. Cosplay Shed sending love and strength to everyone. Thank you very much. Yeah, fighting back after a creative block. Absolutely. Mental Healthness has been on the floor. Yeah. Feeling you there. Sorry, I'm reading these backwards. Okay. Oh, not my camera. I don't want to look at my stuff. I want to look at Where's my... Oh, all right, I don't have my internet open. Give me my internet back. Yep, it's getting to be lunchtime. I'm getting hungry. Okay, so what I want to do is put these screws onto the bumper of the pack. So these screws, which I don't have the right screw, I've just spray painted some 1/4-20 combo screws. You can kind of see what they are. Tips are still silver, but that's okay. So you can see that this is not the right screw, but I went to one place, they didn't have what I needed, so I compromised. Because, you know, done is better than perfect. And this thing's hardly perfect anyway. So we've got one. And I can't blame. Okay. There's no need to use the word blame. It was interesting to me trying to ask for help from the nice gentleman that gave me help at the hardware store. But a more practically minded individual didn't understand, you know, the idea of doing a wonky art project and how the look is actually more important than the specifics. But all good. You know, when you can find hardware store employees that get that what you're doing is an art project and understand that I just need a thing that looks like this thing. It doesn't matter what it is as long as it looks like this thing. And when you get somebody who gets that, those people are great. Learn their work schedules. Yeah, that was all alone. It was scary.
Well, my coffee's nice and toasty.
Oh, that's good.
Poking holes.
Yeah. First one, the entire piece came out. Second one, it didn't. There it goes. I think there's a void inside. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay. Okay, good.
Oh, you got that attached. That's new.
Yep, that's new.
I spy with my little eye something new.
Yes, you do. And that is actually removable. The screw that it's attached to is practical. I threaded I actually tapped the hole to fit the 1/4-20 socket screw because we'll have to remove it to put the ribbon cable through it.
Right. I was going to say, are we going to have to like bend it up or nope, we're going to have to remove it.
Just have to remove it. Not a big deal. It's actually made to be removed.
See how drapey this is? This is why I don't buy things online, because although I absolutely love the texture of this,
it is.
You don't know what texture you're getting with fabrics and trims.
Right. And so what, this is way too loose and wobbly? It's too wet noodle?
No, but most, like, classic binding that you got at Joann's that was on those folded cardboard cards are pretty darn starched. They use some kind of, technical term is a sizing agent.
Okay.
Because it's not necessarily really starch. It might be some other chemicals.
Some of the chemicals are using just to stiffen it up a little bit. To
stiffen it up.
Okay.
And also, their fiber contents, whether they're a poly cotton blend or a cotton or things, it makes it a little bit more crunchy. Okay. This is 100% polyester, so it's not going to fade.
Nice.
And it's not going to wash out. But it's really droopy and really soft, and so it's going to go around these curves super easy. That's good. I'm really glad, and I like this texture because I don't often get this texture bias binding.
Okay.
I really like it, but I have no idea what I was buying it when I was ordering it offline.
Right.
And that is like my biggest hiccup in not ordering art supplies offline because I'm very tactile. Like, it makes a huge difference, and if it doesn't feel right, it's not right. Even though this
that's a big part of clothing, is how it feels when you're wearing it. I like to wear a cotton shirt because I don't like the way polyester feels because I can't vent heat. It just holds all the heat in. So I don't like it. I don't all those moisture wicking sports shirts. I'm wearing a freaking plastic grocery bag. I don't want to wear that.
Yeah, the magic combo is 60 60-40.
Yeah.
60 cotton, 40 polyester, because 60% cotton gives you all the benefits of a natural fiber. It gives it the breathing, so you don't feel like you're wearing a plastic bag.
Right.
It gives you the breathing.
Yes. Yeah.
The breathing.
Well, that's
the
pretty much all it is.
The
comfort of cotton.
The softness also.
Yeah.
It gives you the softness and the air permeability.
Yeah.
Where the polyester, just having 40% polyester in there, keeps it from wrinkling.
Okay.
And it keeps it color fast.
Okay.
And it keeps it from shrinking.
Yeah.
So those are all issues that cotton has, is that it'll fade really fast.
Right.
It shrinks up. So if you ever notice that when you wash something
Yes.
cotton, it gets shorter and wider. And it's like, why is it always shorter and wider? It's because if you think about it, cotton's a sponge and it soaks up water. And when it soaks up, it fills up.
Okay.
And then the fibers get stuck like that. So it always gets shorter and kind of wider. So in cotton things, if you're worried about the length and it's just barely the right length, you're going to wash it, it's going to get shorter.
Yep, I've
And
had
so
a lot
that's
of
where
shirts
it's
that do
gonna
that.
get lost.
Q-Pack question. I've got this hex. Does
Hexagon?
it go underneath the thing that goes here?
Do we have reference images?
Yeah, I'm looking at one. And it doesn't look like it does. It just, and also, darn it. I painted mine black and it looks like it should be gray. I don't need to glue this piece on now. I can, at the same time, this is something you can paint later or just not care about.
Sounds like a lot of people are dealing with some personal issues
Yeah.
that are creating creative blocks and getting through that. So heart goes out to you from one crafter to another.
Absolutely.
I feel you and I understand, and no, I don't know exactly what you're going through, but I understand the apathy that comes with
the apathy that comes with, yeah, I need to do a thing and I just can't do a thing. Yeah.
So we feel you, but yay for being creative today. Yay
Yes.
for being here, even if you're being creative through us. What is it called?
Right. Body doubling or just well, it's not
No.
voyeuristic, but
No, but it's like anyways.
observation. I don't know. Yeah.
I had a term and it fell out of my head. The file's not there. But anyways. But sending love, definitely.
Definitely sending love.
Okay, Ralph Mork says, I'm falling asleep in my chair here. I need to stream later.
Yes, you do, Ralph. And
I'm
thank
getting
you
a
for
big
hanging
mug of
on.
Coffee.
He was
Cheers to that.
we were up late last night and he was on with us until 5 a.m. his time.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, Ralph is an awesome guy.
I passed out early.
Ralph, yeah. Well, it was only like 1 for us, but
Right.
or no, he signed out. We were on till 1 hour time, but Ralph dipped when it was 5 his time, which whatever that worked out to be 10, whatever time it was. But at any rate, thank you, Ralph, for hanging on. And he's going to be live streaming some of his Minecraft later. He's doing some Minecraft adventures with friends.
For a second there, I was like, did you turn on the lights? It's just the way it was reflecting at me.
Right.
Because we lined it in this shiny silver to help with more reflection.
Yeah, that was intentional.
Right? We think about the lighting on these things.
We try.
Oh, I see your reference images. Yay.
Yeah, we have the
I need
Ghostbusters
those.
side up.
They make the biggest difference in the world if I'm trying to make something.
Yeah. So I'm not shining the light necessarily directly into it, but I mean that's directly into it. But it just.
Yeah, no, it was just like, oh, is it? We have lights.
Yeah. We have
They
lights.
will be in soon enough.
Yeah, they're here.
They're tucked out of the way so they don't get ruined.
Yep. She
Yeah.
ruins it. She ruins it.
You ruins it.
No, she did.
All right, let's see. I missed a lot of comments, so I'm trying to catch up.
I appreciate that you keep track of the comments.
Jimsy33 says, hi, Odin. How are you doing?
Much better. I'm very, very, very good right now.
The Cosplay Shed says, that's exactly right. Well, I don't know what's exactly right. I missed the previous comments, but it says, it's the aesthetics over function. Those store colleagues are invaluable. Yes. Out of context, still agree.
It's here.
Mighty Guitar Mod says, getting art supplies online is a big mistake. I don't know if it's a big mistake. I love that we have access to things, like we can order stuff, but...
Right. It's a crapshoot.
Joanne's was still profitable despite the craziness of it going under, there is definitely a strong need for an in-person textile art store, whether it's fabric or yarn. These are things that you can't buy online because is the dye lot the right shade for what your project is?
Right. Sorry.
Different dye lots are different colors. Is it the right texture? Just because it's polyester doesn't mean that it's going to be the right weight of polyester, the right drape of polyester, and satin is a weave, not a fabric. And understanding the language in order to be able to verbalize what you want and get what you're trying to get. I know there's, you can get swatches, but that takes time. And then also the swatch that you get, is it the same swatch of the roller they're going to cut the fabric from? Because if it's not,
you may not have the same color. Exactly the same shade of color. Right?
Color, weight, etc.
Yeah.
Like,
sorry.
No, I know. Like, these are things that I've done when I've, like, issues I've run into. But I understand that there's a need. Like, I appreciate that we can order things online, but I also understand that there are things that you buy in person because...
you know what you're going to get.
Yeah. Like, you have to feel it. Like, this is right or this isn't right. Or matching undertones of whites.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'd never be able to order wedding dress colors. No.
Undertones of whites. Oh my gosh. Just having like this lace match this shade of white of the lining, and they don't all. So, like, there's a reason to shop in person for things. Like clothing too. Like, to me, that's very much something you try on and I don't necessarily order. But I've ordered so many things like online that I'm looking at fiber content, reviews. I really appreciate people. The real MVPs are people who are like have real bodies that take pictures of them in the clothing and post them so I can see.
Yeah.
Because that makes the biggest difference in the world, because you see somebody that's like you or has a similar shape, and how do they look in it? Like, how does it look like on a real human being versus the mannequin that they have it on in the thing? And again, texture, the way it feels.
Yeah, there we go.
Like the feel factor. Like, although it is nice that you can order clothing without ever actually having to try it on and knowing that it's going to fit based on measurements. I've done both, but personally, preferably, I purchase textiles in person. And I guess that's going to date me and make me old lady and analog. I just think it's funny, like Ryan talked that one time saying, did you do that analog, when I gave him a fashion illustration that I hand drew versus doing it on a computer.
Right.
It's like, and I think it's hilarious to call things that I do in real life analog.
Yeah, well, he's not wrong.
Yeah,
you know?
No, I love it.
And Ryan had a very different look and everything. It's like, your phone's broken, get a new phone. Ryan, I can't just go buy a new phone.
Right?
That was one that just bugged me. Because, yeah. It came up a lot because basically the camera died. The camera, yeah.
Yeah, no, like I had issues with my phone too. Like my phone.
Phones do that.
Especially back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You brought up a whole level of trauma I completely forgot.
Sorry.
It's okay. We survived. We're still here.
We did. We
I
are.
feel like I should be wearing this with those flicking.
Oh, no, I'm just snipping.
You're fine.
It's a coat hanger. But I needed
click.
a piece of wire to pin the parts, which actually they're made to do that. So I'm just turning all these little individual resin printed greebles into clunky thumbtacks that I can then glue onto the pack.
Million ways to do anything then.
Yep.
Shadowlands Radio. She has another $4.99 super chat.
Thank you, Shadowlands. She's awesome.
The term is living vicariously.
Ah, yes.
I have some physical issues that sometimes prevents making videos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Appreciate the super chats. I hope you don't feel like you have to use that just so your comment gets seen. That's not the point. We're not trying to have people bribe us.
But
yeah, well, hopefully we'll read them. Sometimes I miss them.
Gets lost in the chat.
Well, I'm not even looking at it. You can see I'm nearsighted. She's the extent of my clear vision. I cannot see clear past Felicia's head. The camera is out of focus. The screen is out of focus, ever so slightly.
Yeah, one of my eyes is better than the other, but I can at least read that it's a GH4 Lumex camera.
Nope, can't see that.
Yeah.
You're lying! No, you're telling the truth. I know you are.
Says, rest in peace, Joann's.
Yeah, pretty much.
I hadn't shopped at Joann's for at least like 2-3 years.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of sad, but it's just I've been broke.
Oh, that's why they went out of business.
No, they were profitable. They just couldn't keep up with
They couldn't keep up with what investors wanted?
Well, there's technicalities of why they went under.
That's fine.
Like, it's a long thing to get into, but it was not from a lack of
sales.
There is definitely a strong market for fiber artists.
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
Sewers, crocheters, knitters, yarn workers of lots of different types. Like, specifically, I say fiber artists because those are things that you tactily, you need to get by in person. Like, notions, yes, it's great that you can just run out and grab them, but those you can easily just order off of Wawat. You know, like, you give them the specs and you can get what you need. The fabrics and those things, you have to feel it.
Specifically, notions are the little metal bits, the little
pins,
zippers,
buckles, you know, notions, thread. Yeah. You can even order thread online. Like, I am sorry, like,
you don't have an issue with that.
Like, Guterman's the best. You know, like, if I have to worry about things technically. Dual duty is going to work A-okay perfectly well, and there's not going to be issues. Don't get the Amazon brand. You know, the ones that come in those sewing kits?
Oh, yeah, those things. Those fray or...
Those will be snapping and gunking up your machines, and you will not have a good time sewing. If you're having issues sewing, it's probably the thread is really crappy. So getting a good brand thread and understanding that, getting a polyester wrapped cotton, understanding that. And if you are trying to color match, you go slightly darker. It'll disappear. Well, with colors in general.
Oh, okay.
Like, if you're trying to color match, like, a blue, a navy, a green, you go for a slightly darker shade. Okay. You know, like, it'll most likely disappear. And in the end of the day, a black or a white thread goes very far in lots of things. So, like, I feel like notions and things like that are easily orderable, but what is not easily orderable is the actual fabrics and yarns.
Yeah.
Like, so that's where the big void is. But I think the reason that I hadn't been shopping Joann's is because we have local fabric stores.
Yes.
World-class textiles, high-fashion fabrics, Min-Fat Fabrics. Those are 3 local places that are all within...
Easy driving.
Like, they're all really close to my house.
Right.
Really freaking close to my house. Like, I am spoiled about how close all of that is to my house. Granted, I know where you can buy fabric in San Francisco, like the high-end nice stuff versus also the cheap stuff, but then also they have a really good silk importer in San Jose.
I believe that.
Like, and then also every once in a while, I'll go down to LA and shop their fabric district.
Yeah.
Like, I know where I can get fabric, so it's like I'm not at a complete loss without having Joann's here, but I do appreciate Joann's, and
Joann's was local, even though they were a chain.
Right? Yeah. Like, I have memories of being a little kid when they changed the name from Fabricland to Joann's.
I remember that. I was just thinking about Fabricland.
I used to have a Fabricland plastic bag in my scrap fabric pile, and I kept it because I'm like, this is an antique.
Yep.
Like, I knew people, like, my mom had friends who worked at these fabric stores, and we'd go, like, I have core memories of going and picking out fabrics and patterns, and it is, like, the most, like, kid in a candy store, except for a kid in a fabric store, you know, like, craft supplies. Favorite craft supplies as a child was safety pins and tape, because I feel like I could make anything with safety pins and tape.
Fabricland was one of those places I'd be happy to go to just to kill time and look at stuff. Yeah.
Now, but as a grown-up with no money, it's not as fun to wander the aisles.
It's true.
Where there's all this stuff that I can't make, or too many projects, you know, but I was spoiled and had other sources of fabrics. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily yarns, but there's Rumpelstiltskins over by Fox and Goose.
Oh, okay.
That is like they have like fancy yarns that are like the really nice stuff.
Well, sure. With a name like that, yeah, of course.
Right? But I also, like, I have about 12 skeins of yarn that I got from the dollar store because when I saw it, I'm like, oh, that's a really good price for that yarn.
All right.
And I hoarded it, and I haven't used it hardly because I think it's enough for one project, and I haven't decided what that project worthy of the stupid yarn is.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyways, I love Joann's. I'm really sad that they are going / gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I really hope something comes to fill that void that isn't Hobby Lobby.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's Michael's. They've upped their fabrics and stuff like that.
Right.
But now that their Joann's doesn't exist, you don't get those extra 40% off coupons.
Right.
Because Michael's would accept Joann's coupons.
Mm.
They accept competitor coupons.
Yeah.
And they even kept a binder of their competitors' current coupons
Yep.
to reference to make sure that they have everything. So if that person's being really nice to you, they will just scan them directly from their binder for you.
Yep.
I mean, they've done it for me in the past, but you don't expect it.
No.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. But, so, it's changing, but I will miss Joann's. I appreciate the local places that we have access to. I feel very spoiled having those places. You know, places can be food deserts, places can be fabric deserts.
Yeah.
Materials. Okay. Sean Carr, I always get anxious about... Sorry, this chat's moving. Sorry, I missed a lot of things.
We've been on a Joann's tangent.
I always get anxious about ordering clothes online. Yeah, which is nice that you can return them, but I don't like going through the hassle of returning.
Right. Basically, when I order clothes online, it's because I've bought it locally and I'm just buying more of the same thing. Yeah, but you know, I dress utilitarian, so.
Yeah, I buy some crazy stuff.
That's good.
Not gonna lie.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but I also don't buy a lot of clothing. Like, yes, I have a lot of clothing, but it's not because I purchased it.
Okay.
I have 2 sisters who have great hand-me-downs.
Ah, yes.
And also, I professionally shop for a living, so every once in a while, something will catch my eye, and I'm like, okay, well, that's coming home with me. But I think my clothing budget is less than $20 a month.
All right.
Which is very shocking to hear that people, like, don't expect me to say that with, like, my crazy wardrobe. But it is true. Like, if I'm lucky, I'll spend $20 a month on something.
Right. I have no idea. I don't think I buy clothes that often. When I do, I get what I need, but I don't, yeah.
Yeah, no, you're very practical and utilitarian about your clothing choices.
Yeah, try to be.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You have a costume for your, not live streams, but for your actual videos.
Yep.
So you can film them whenever
Yep.
and then seamlessly edit them together.
Yep.
And when I first started doing shows with you, I wasn't following the uniform, so you could see the passage of time of how long it took us to make it, because each day I had a different outfit on.
Which is okay.
Yeah, no, we talked about it beforehand because I could.
Yep.
But I didn't, because there's so many things to wear. I'm just saying.
It really matters when you're doing a video where you're like interviewing something or doing something where you're trying to present it that, oh, we did all this in one day. Yeah, but you changed clothes 3 times during the...
The Cosplay Shed says, we've got nothing here in the UK like craft supply stores you have in the US. We've got hobby crafts, awful and overpriced. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, that sucks.
I feel very spoiled. We're near port cities.
Yeah.
In California, of all places, which is the heart of fashion in general. So we have a lot of dead stock fabric that makes it into our ports. We have a lot of access to cheap fabrics, specifically, like, geographically where we're located. We have a very high advantage of access to crafting supplies, and I acknowledge it. Like, I feel very spoiled, but I also love it.
Yes.
Like...
And it's not just crafting supplies. We also have, with the ports, there's a lot of plastics and other manufacturing things that I know I can go to. I've got like 4 different plastic stores I can go to in Sacramento.
Granted,
there are places that have 0.
We do have a lot of restrictions here on California on chemicals, however.
Yeah.
So, like, you have to go out of state for that kind of stuff. But nothing I really run into at all.
No, that's more of a me problem.
Yeah. We've run into those issues, and I've run into those issues, but they don't seem to bother me because it's not my area of expertise. Advixen says, don't you hate it when your solution is a wire hanger and you don't have one?
Yep.
Okay, Home Depot's it is.
Yep.
Right?
You saw me looking.
I have friends who are like, ooh, wire hangers. And I'm like, ooh, wire hangers.
Yeah.
It's not for hanging clothes. No,
Nope.
Those are for crafting.
That's crafting. That's craft supplies. Yeah, and sometimes really good craft supplies.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yep. I also like those little foam bits that you get on wire hangers when you get them from dry cleaners.
Oh, the little non-slip thing?
I will save those and use them on other hangers because the non-slip of that little styrofoam piece is amazing. I love it.
Yep.
Somebody who has had to work with clothes on hangers a lot.
Uh-huh.
I appreciate the engineering of a well-engineered hanger.
I remember Beyond Geek shoot, we're putting the costume together, and, we're out of town. I need a thing, and it was like Saturday morning or something, and I needed a clothes hanger. I needed a wire clothes hanger in order to make whatever work because something broke. Ended up having to drive to a dry cleaners that was open, and I think I paid them $1 for one of the can I just have one of your hangers? I just need a hanger. I'm like, why? Costume thing.
Right?
Yep.
I'm tempted. The Forever 21 is going out of business, and they're selling all their fixtures and stuff.
Oh,
and
wow.
Boxes of hangers are only $25 for a box, and I'm like, I don't need to have a box that big of hangers, but I have in the past. So
what type of hanger?
They're the
the plastic clippy ones? Or?
Retail hangers are a higher quality hanger because they have to get reused multiple uses and abuses. They have swivel. They're plastic bodies with the
swivel.
With all the little holds on the different types of like hanging spots. So they have the under hooks. They have the top hooks. They have the non-slip ridges, and they have the little hanger hook that will twirl around,
spins,
so you can, if you put it on the wrong way, you can you just spin it and you don't have to take it off the hanger to have it facing the correct way.
Right.
So all those little features add up to make really nice hangers.
Yeah, no, they do. I know what you're talking about.
Little details like that, but it's like a pack for $1 at Walmart sometimes, like that's what's mostly in my closet, of those stupid tube ones that snap so easily.
They're just the solid plastic ones?
Yeah,
that's what I said.
They just snap and then you throw them away and you move on, and it's like horrible. But they're $1.
I'm killing the planet!
But it's $1 and I'm poor.
Yeah, well, there's that.
But yeah.
Yep.
We got Nick Turbury with a bunch of Canadian flags. Go Canada.
Sweet.
Louis Cossey says, I watched a podcast about what happened to Joann's and Big Lots, Wall Street buyouts and sell-offs, BS. Yeah, no, I know. It is a disaster waiting to happen because obviously there is a market.
Yep.
Just saying. Muddy 1052 says, hi, Odin. I haven't been able to catch you stream lately. It's good to see you.
Hello,
Wife
Muddy.
and I have a rough time lately, getting better, though. A homeless stint.
Oh dear, those are
Best of luck to you. It's not easy.
No, it's not. Much younger. Ended up having to bounce around between family members' houses because I didn't have anywhere to go.
Right. William Wells says, I love hearing your voice. Yep. Muddy 1052 says, I just got a new apartment. Yay!
Oh, that's awesome.
That is amazing news because it is hard to get back once you've been out. Yeah. Mighty Guitar Mod says the problem with buying jeans online, as an example, based on measurements, is that a 38 waist might fit you when you buy it from Levi's, not when you buy Wranglers. So there's that. Yeah,
there is that.
Vanity sizing is a thing, and I feel like as people order more online, it's going to become less of a thing because vanity sizes aren't based on any measurement. It's literally just, we say this is a size 2, but a size 2 at this store versus that brand versus this brand are all over the place.
Yep.
So you have to go by physical measurements, like when they have the size charts based on your waist measurement, based on your hip measurement. Like, as somebody who's pattern drafted based off of standard size and adjusted them to custom sizes, the shoulder to apex and apex to waist ratio, I feel like if they start factoring it into sizing, could really help things fit better. But anyways, I digress. But sometimes, like, my friend, she goes shopping with the measuring tape.
Mm-hmm.
So she will just measure things before trying them on, going, well, is
this even worth my time?
Exactly. She gets her measurement, divides it in half, and uses that measurement, just lays it directly onto the thing and goes, yep, that's going to fit. Or, oh, nope, we're not even close in the territory. So vanity sizing makes things really difficult, especially going between brands. So I can kind of see in the future us going more towards actual measurements, even though our psyche doesn't like it.
Right.
But that's why men's clothing has stayed more true to actual sizing, because it's more practical. So there's my 2 cents. Sean Carr says, Felicia is Odin's guide dog. My eyesight sucks too. LOL. Too. I really need glasses. Yeah. I will tell you, hey, that looks wrong. No.
Well, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm checking the time and realizing, hey, we're
at 2:12. We're overtime.
We're overtime. Well, let me put the one clipper valve on.
Got a $2 super chat from Ad Vixen, says,
wow.
But it sure helps. Wahahaha. So how's the dust, Felicia?
How's the dust?
Dust is not bothering me today.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah?
Well, I didn't grind that much. And I think what bothers you specifically is the EVA foam dust.
Like, I am very sensitive to synthetic dusts. Like, cutting fabrics, it creates a lot of dust in the air, and then I touch my face, and then I feel it all over my face. Foam dust does that to me. It's like indoor synthetic dust just make me sneeze like crazy, irritates my skin, and I'm sensitive to.
I'm going to use a drill on foam. But I want to put it in a specific spot.
Yeah, you're fine. Like, use the tool, make it easier. Like,
okay.
We don't judge you. We judge you, but we
don't.
Yeah,
you do.
We judge you, but we're not judging you, like, for using tools.
Anyway.
Clipper valve.
It's a clipper valve.
Yeah. Louis Cossi, Notions, a.k.a. dust collectors.
Yep.
Sean Card, thread matters. Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Look it, you did it.
Should I
push 2?
3.
3. Let's see. Yep. Now it has a little top.
It has a little top. It doesn't turn, but it has a little top, a little resin printed. It's got a pretty good, yeah. This is just the bright aluminum silver paint from Ace Hardware. It's not a crazy chrome paint.
I want to see more of the clippered, and I'm pushing it more and more out of view. There we go.
So you can definitely see the foam that we did, but that's okay. Since applied the sticker, that's where that's going to go. Now, aside from putting the paint cap on it, there's a couple of socket screws that go on the sides here, and I think I've picked up a couple just for that, or I'm just going to use these. They might be a little big, but
Shadowlands Radio says, I'm wanting to learn hand sewing Victorian style. You know, sewing is not bad. It goes fairly quickly, and you have a lot of control. Like, sometimes it takes more time to figure out how to put something in a sewing machine than it does to just hand sew it quickly. So I suggest pull out a needle and thread. The worst you can do is just have to rip it out. It's not like you're sewing on leather where it's a permanent hole.
Right.
So, like, don't be afraid to hand sew it. You can baste it together and then take it to a sewing machine and do it better if you have to. But yeah, highly encourage it. I believe in you, and you're not going to make big mistakes that you can't fix.
Yep. Pair those on.
DJ Stumpy says, I got fabric from Temu recently. It's not too bad, but it frays a lot.
Yeah, I bet.
Like, again, it's hard to know what you're buying when you're buying online. And bed sheets aren't always the best replacement fabric because they fray a lot. And you have to, I suggest serging your edges. If you have a serger, use it when you're using.
You have the ability, yeah.
When you're using fabrics that weren't meant for clothing. Mighty Guitar Mod says, where do I get 500 count Egyptian cotton? Okay, be careful about getting, what's it called? When they say,
cut. Yeah.
What was it that I fell for? Egyptian like cotton? Or where it wasn't even cotton. It was like a microfiber, but it was Egyptian. Anyways.
Rich Corinthian leather?
No, I don't know, but it was like, I was reading the thing and they wanted you to think that it was like 1,000 thread count.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't, but it was 1,000 thread count, but it was a microfiber, not Egyptian cotton, but they used the word Egyptian cotton like, and it was actually polyester, so there is a lot of...
Yeah, they were like fudging the numbers?
There's some technicalities they were getting away with.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So you have to be wary about ordering Egyptian cotton because there are people who will try and sell you polyester microfibers as that.
Okay.
But cotton sheets are a really good place to get 500 thread count. Like, it's going to be really good. I suggest washing it before you use it. It'll make it even better. But... if you get actual cotton ones, I would order those as sheets. Or even like linen. If you want a nice linen, get a good linen bed sheet. As long as it's like 100% linen and you're looking at thread counts. But again, ordering fabric online is a non-tactile experience for something that's very tactilely important. Just my opinions on the subject.
How dare you have opinions?
Sean Cargo. I worked as a supervisor in a shop that made cargo nets. Thread matters. 100%. 100%. Thread really does matter. Cosplay Shed. The Orange is a terrible store here in the UK. Hardly anything there. Michael's Ad Vixen says Michael's killed the floral table a decade ago, and now mostly self-checkout. Actually okay with that, but where's the foam?
Right.
Didn't Michael's sponsor you with a foam project once? Oh.
Yeah, and Michael's had.
But you didn't like their foam because it was slippery.
Right. That was the we made
soapy texture. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine. It was the Black Knight helmet. You're right. Their whole line came out, exactly the wrong time, and it's run its course. They've actually stopped carrying a cosplay section. They still have some foam stuff, but they don't really have what they had. Yeah. That's kind of, it's done the retail thing of, hey, this is really in. Let's do this for about 3 years, and then, well, for those who really like it, they'll figure it out. But we're not going to carry it anymore.
If you have a Blick Art Supply, that is a great place to get What the Foam. Which I really like. There's
HD foam, but yeah.
HD foam?
HD foam.
What the foam you have to order online?
Yep, directly from them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I feel like foam you can order online because you're wanting a specific product. And
pretty much. HD foam is nice if you got a Blick close by. The only place you can get HD foam is Blick, and that's the gray foam that a lot of this pack is made out of. What the Foam has a higher rubber content. It is a denser foam. It's the one that you can actually sew. It only comes in 3 colors. What the Foam, as far as I know, is still being manufactured, but I believe the only place you can get it is directly from them on the website. I don't think it's available in a store anywhere. And still, you can get, if you look hard, you can get B stock big sheets, and that is that's what I get.
Yeah. James Allen says, when I buy clothes online, I buy one size up from what I wear.
Okay.
That's a strategy, but I feel like you really have to look at measurements, and they don't necessarily provide all the measurements that you need. Again, it's one of those things. Is it going to breathe? What's the fiber content?
Right. I know I'm still going. Give me a second.
You're fine. I'm reading comments while you're finishing this
okay.
up. We're look at this.
We're doing
progress.
stuff. Yeah.
Progress is happening. I'm not going to complain.
Okay, good.
Gangish says thrifting makes that $20 a monthly budget stretch. Yes. Thrifting is an amazing place to buy fabrics.
Yes.
Hopefully somebody is getting rid of their hoarding stash so you can get really good deals on discontinued and awesome vintage fabrics or weird pieces of tablecloths and such and other creative places, or refabricating garments that exist because you like the fabric that it's made out of. Like, thrifting is 100% crafting gold, you know? It all depends on what's there, though, too. What did people in your neighborhood buy before you did?
Yeah.
But, yes, I am totally a thrifter, but, again, always broke.
Me too. Not at all afraid to go to a thrift store to find the shape, object, base material that I need to do something out of. Not afraid to tear something apart I thrifted.
Oh no, I love going thrifting when I'm shopping for sets and stuff like that, but sometimes the non-ability to return stuff doesn't, it hurts. Because they'd rather have something that they could use in return, or they decided they didn't like it, so then Yeah. It's just, ugh. Sometimes it's easier to, like, and then if it accepts the car. So.
Yeah. My point of view, I'm just doing it out of pocket, so whatever. But yeah.
Right. Luis Cossi says, I've lost a lot of weight, went down several pant sizes. I just bought pants from nice thrift store till I get to my final pant size. Started at a 52 down to a 40. Congratulations. Right? When you're losing weight, you're kind of buying multiple wardrobes as you're going on your journey, and that can be hard because it's a lot of financial investments, and thrifting does help with that.
Yep.
Especially when you're understanding what your new size is and what your new shape is, because things fit differently.
Yep.
The truth. And so, yes.
I didn't
Ralph
check.
Mork says, I found a bunch of wire hangers when dumpster diving, but I throw them in with shred steel. Maybe I should keep a few if I find more.
It all depends what you need wire hangers for, Ralph.
Exactly.
I know you're reforging, so go for it. If this is going to work for a pot metal.
You know what? Just having one in the closet for emergencies, you'll never use it. As soon as you get rid of it, you'll need it.
Yep. Yep. I needed the wire. I came around to get the hanger that was holding the microphone wire up. I needed that space for when I was doing the DIY prop shop green screen shoot. So I didn't need it there anymore because it still doesn't quite hang into view. It's right there, but it's out of view. So anyway, yeah.
Right. Mighty Guitar Mode says, so Felicia, and a polyester suit factory is a bad idea? Not necessarily, because there's a lot of layers between the outside of the polyester suit and your inner layer, so your linings can give you different properties. So if your lining breathes or at least wicks the moisture away, you might be just a-okay and fine. Polyester suit's not going to wrinkle. It probably is going to hold its color really well, and it's going to hold its shape really well. And it's just not going to breathe. But if it's a suit, it's not necessarily... So you have the clothes that are directly against your body. Those are way more comfortable when they are natural fibers. That's why when you do Renaissance fairs and stuff like that, people have their chemises and blouses and such. But then they have the corsets or the ogre clothing that doesn't necessarily need to be washed as much. It's whole socks and shoes. Socks and shoes. With a suit, a cotton shirt is going to make that polyester jacket way more comfortable. Where a polyester jacket's going to look really sharp and clean for a lot longer, where a cotton one will fade over time, but a silk one will also fade in the sunshine and will also deteriorate in sunshine, so it's not going to have as much longevity as a polyester suit. But, you know, those 70s polyester suits are coming back in fashion, and they still exist and look exactly the same as they did the day they were manufactured.
Yeah.
Take it from experience. I absolutely love them, but boy, do they stink sometimes when they get back. Yeah. So the layers are closest to your body, you want to keep natural fibers. The layers on the outside of your body, it's easy to go into synthetics because you're not having to worry about the breathing. But then they also have technology where they can have polyesters that wick really well. That's like Under Armour.
Right.
Where it takes the moisture that's up against your skin and it pulls it off your skin and brings it to the outside of the fabric. So it's not on you. So you're not... So it'll keep you cooler and warmer at the same time, depending on what you're, why you're sweating. Hope that helps anybody. If not, makes you more confused. But
hopefully that makes everybody more confused. No, not what we're saying.
Rob?
I think I'm enjoying this, and I could keep tinkering and going, but I think I need to stop.
Okay.
Because if I don't stop, I won't stop, and if I start doing something else, it'll take a little while longer. Everyone, it's been a little bit of an extra long stream. Had 2 in a row. 2 weeks in a row. You're looking at stuff. Do you see?
Oh, I just see one last comment.
Yeah.
I was laughing because Mighty Guitar Mode says, I like checking the pockets of thrift stores. You can find all kinds of things, from money to notes to illicit drugs. All kinds of things.
Yep.
I did buy a pair of shorts because it had $20 in the pocket once. They were my lucky shorts.
Uh-huh.
I think I spent $2 on them.
Nice.
And then working at a costume shop, people would return their costumes and they left all sorts of fun things in their pockets, I'm just going to say.
Yep, same thing,
and if
I'm
they
sure.
didn't return in time, like, oh, now that's mine. No.
That's mine. Yep.
I saw nothing. No.
Yep.
So, fun problems.
Everyone, thank you very much for tuning in today. Actually got progress on the packs. Not a huge visual change, but there's a bunch of little stuff over here that happened, and I'm excited about working on these because there's things that didn't exist that are now ordered or here and painted, and I understand the reference better. So in 2 weeks, we're going to be back and doing more of this. She may be doing more of her side quest.
I saw a comment I'm going to read real quick.
Yep, that's fine.
Because Advixen says Salvation Army couch has a pistol in it. My mom was sleeping on it for months. Sorry, that was
wow,
just like, that's a
amazing.
good one.
Yeah, that's cool. Nope, not gonna lie, that's awesome.
That's funny. Well, she's, I guess, not a princess like the Princess and the Pea.
Right.
Princess and the Pea Shooter.
Right, Princess and the Pea Shooter.
Anyways, okay. I'm done. But thank you guys for all the comments and everything. It definitely makes it more entertaining.
It really does. The live stream is fun because all of you that are watching and all of you that come in and comment. And I hope that you don't think you have to super chat in order for your comment to be seen. It's appreciated. I'm not telling you not to do that, but we're not trying to bribe you guys or have you bribe us into answers.
But if you want to support Odin in any way you can, he has a Patreon where you can become a member and then have exclusive access to Odin on the Discord chats and Minecraft
and Among Us games, which we played that yesterday as well.
So
yes, that's patreon.com/Odin Makes. And if you join the Discord level, you'll have access to me and Felicia and Shot Gremlin and Dan Does Junk pretty much all week long. So yeah. Yeah.
I will step aside
you guys,
so you can start.
The live streams, wanted to live stream because I'd done live streams before and it seemed like fun, but really the live streams come down to communicating with you. And doing the live streams is fun because all of you join in and all of you watch. So thank you all very much. We will see you again in 2 weeks, and we will continue with this project, hopefully with more bits and pieces ready to go. Anything else?
It's just the little bits.
Little bits.
Yes, we're dragging this project out. Yes,
Right.
It's been taking forever. Do we know what we're doing next? No, not yet.
No.
But there's a lot of little bits.
Yeah. We're going to have some wand unboxing. We'll just keep doing bits on this.
Gotta get that rainbow cording ribbon cable in.
I really want to do that next. It didn't happen today. Kind of wanted it to happen today, but I got caught up on all the little things.
And we have all the little things figured out, which is...
Yeah, the little things are kind of prepped. A lot of the screws are in. So very cool. Thank you all very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. End stream. There's the button. End. Nice.